2 semifinals. New Year's Day, the college football playoff lives on ESPN.
So, looking forward to this season?
Yep. Been working on my anticipation. Got to stay one step ahead.
Anticipation is key.
Yes. Yes. But don't even think about asking me that.
Welcome to the Nissan Pregame Rush. Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy.
.43 degrees in Happy Valley. Kickoff between the Buckeyes and the Nittany Lions coming up. Ohio State trying to dodge the upset trap here. That trap almost got #1 Clemson at
Happy Valley. Not tonight, I'm afraid. All Hallows Eve means nightmares and carving knives, twisted smiles and evil eyes, and Buckeyes eager to haunt your house and take care of unfinished business.
And that's the ball game. Ohio State's season comes to an end.
Lions can be scary when protecting their territory.
It's blocked. Brad Haley will score.
Oh yes, there are plenty of treats in store, but no sweetness. Only a bitter Big Ten rivalry.
And he pitches to Hill. Still running. Touchdown, Ohio State.
So settle in, dear viewers. Ohio State, Penn State. On Saturday, Fright Football.
It'll be a frightening night for the favorites from Columbus. You're watching a presentation of the Big Ten on ABC. About 1,500 friends and family of the football team. This is what was the scene last year for the whiteout game against Michigan and pretty much every whiteout game. Totally different, Kirk, for the run out of this Penn State team tonight. They're going to have to find their own energy.
Yeah, I mean, that's been a challenge for all these teams this year. And, you know, you and I standing up here watching the two teams really jog onto the field. And it's the reality of the 2020 season. We'll see who, almost like a business trip, we'll see who gets off to a quicker start. Ohio State will take the ball first.
Yeah, we'll see Justin Fields of the Buckeyes offense. Penn State winning the toss and deferring. So Jordan Stout, got a strong leg for the Nittany Lions, usually drives the ball into the end zone. DeMario McCall is deep for Ohio State. They're pumping an artificial crowd noise, in case you're wondering. They can go as loud as about 70 dB, but it's 110 dB max for the normal whiteout crowd. Stout steps to it, and it's a line drive through the end zone. So here comes Justin Fields. We talked about the energy he felt 4 years ago and committed to Penn State. Of course, went down to Georgia, comes back to Columbus. Heisman Trophy finalist a year ago, and could be the favorite after tonight. A near flawless opening game against Nebraska. Just the one incompletion.
Yeah, one incompletion, just in a zone. Did a really nice job of managing the offense, making good decisions. And honestly, you really look at the film, Ohio State didn't open up the playbook much at all in the opener. And I think they will have to do more of that tonight against this Penn State defense.
Fields the leading rusher. Can they get the offensive line going against this good Penn State front? Can they get the running backs free? That was the problem in the opening game for Ohio State's offense. And it's an end-around handoff to Garrett. Wilson who slips a tackle and is off and running. Wilson in a foot race. Can they angle him out? Cuts back, still alive and knocked down at the Penn State 13 by Joey Porter. An electric opening play on the end around, 62 yards.
Boy, all that pre-snap movement, so important to eventually get this freed up. You see Garrett Wilson moving. Watch the block right there by, looked like Olave made a nice block on a safety, and there's just nobody there. That's Garrett Wilson, his speed, playmaking ability, and Ohio State trying to stretch Penn State horizontally early in the game, and they hit a crease for a big one.
The sophomore from Austin came close to scoring on the opening play. Master Teague barrels forward. He gets down near the marker before Brisker stopped him. Ohio State comes out firing.
Yeah, Ohio State feels their running game. You touched on it. They weren't real happy about the backs last week. They wanted to, instead of dancing the jump cuts, they're physical backs. They wanted to get up north and south in the first carry there for Master Teague. You can see the message from Tony Alford, the running back coach, delivered and felt, because that time he just lowered his shoulder and ran behind his pads.
2nd and 1. Teague barrels down near the goal line, stretching. No signal yet. Touchdown, Ohio State. On their first possession, just flies down the field in 3 plays. A sobering start for Penn State.
Not just points in a game like this, a message that's being sent at the line of scrimmage. No passing from Justin Fields. Ohio State runs the ball on 3 straight plays. Teague clearly not down, gets across and into the end zone for the touchdown. But boy, I mean, that's about as good as you could hope to start this game if you're Ohio State, Kevin Wilson and Ryan Day and the offensive staff.
Garrett Wilson, you pointed out, some beautiful blocking on the opening play, sets the tone. And Penn State, you know, minus all that crowd energy, which helps the defense. A very flat start. Mobile makes it 7-0. Here's Teague muscling in for the touchdown.
Well, the first play was an explosive play. The next 2 plays were the line of scrimmage. Watch the left side of that offensive line pushing Penn State into that end zone, and Teague just follows behind. There, Munford, the left tackle, nice job. You can see Luke Farrell, the tight end, just the left side, just manhandling Penn State on those last 2 plays, with Master Teague getting behind his pads and running hard.
225-pounder from Tennessee. J.K. Dobbins back up a year ago and part of a rotation tonight with Trey Sermon.
And you lose J.K. Dobbins, you lose the suddenness, the big playability. You hold your breath every time that he runs the ball. And now you have more physical backs. There's a look at 40. Lucetta would be out because of a targeting call last week in the second half against Indiana. Big part in the inside of that defense with Ellis Brooks.
He doesn't return until the second half, but he's a vocal leader, one of the quarterbacks of a rebuilt linebacking corps at Penn State. Micah Parsons opting out. Cam Brown, Jan Jensen, to all 3 linebackers new for the Nittany Lions this year.
That was quick. Bang, 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 touchdown.
Mobile, this is the trademark kickoff high into the left corner, and a fair catch made. So Sean Clifford, St. Xavier High School in Cincinnati, lighting everything up, won a state championship at the Horseshoe. But then, you talked about it, last year he wasn't 100% when he came in, got knocked out of the game, but a productive 2019.
Yeah, he had a productive year. He got some great experience last week. The game where they played well enough. I mean, look at the numbers. You'd think they won the game, but the 2 turnovers, and he was obviously frustrated, but incredibly motivated, being from Cincinnati and going to St. X and having a chance again to try to take on the Buckeyes.
Devin Ford, the man who scored the touchdown that Penn State didn't want to score against Indiana when they could have run the clock out, is the starting tailback. They fake it to him, and Clifford to his best weapon, Pat Fryermuth, the tight end, for a 9-yard gain.
Yeah, that's obviously their #1 target. They're working in some receivers, need to get experience, but one guy they can count on is Fryermuth, and they feel there's a matchup there that they can win on play action with him against the Ohio State linebackers.
7 catches in the opener. And that's a first down carry. Can they limit his yards after the catch? They did a good job doing that last year against Fryermuth. Chick-fil-A impact player is when Penn State has the football.
And Devin Ford, we'll talk more about that story. He's now the featured back. And on the outside, we have to see if Johan Dotson can make plays. He's the kind of the go-to receiver. Pete Werner, one of the leaders in the front 7, number 20, and of course Sean Wade moves from that slot corner, more of a feature now on the outside as a corner. Number 24, one of the top corners maybe in the country.
First down is play action again, actually a whistle before the snap. And Ohio State takes an early timeout on defense. So something they didn't like in the formation. Penn State trying to answer the Buckeyes' electric opening score. Back after this.
Why you came to Ohio State to play in big games like this. The whole nation will be watching on Saturday night at 7:30. Where are the Buckeyes at? This is why you came here, for big games. This is a big game.
Ryan Day 17-1, and big games have been very successful since Urban Meyer's first year in 2012. 9 straight wins against ranked opponents on the road, trying to tie the record of the Frank Leahy-era Notre Dame teams. 10 straight if they win this one tonight. That's incredible.
It is. I mean, it's tough to win on the road, especially when you're playing ranked teams.
Clifford with a keeper. This is a first design run. They expect this to be a big part of the offense tonight. Jonathan Cooper on the tackle.
It's important to remind people that the running back situation. You know, they lost Noah Cain last week, who expected to kind of step in for Journey Brown, who's out, at least at this point in this season. So Ricky Slade, a back who was here last year, transferred to Old Dominion. So theoretically, Devin Ford coming in, if everybody's healthy, would really be the 4th guy. And now he's the starter, and you have 2 true freshmen behind him as their 2nd and 3rd option. So very different backfield for Penn State.
So they'll rely on a lot of the quarterback keepers. This is Ford barreling forward, stopped at the 45. It'll be 3rd and 2. Borland on the stop there. Here's what you referred to. Journey Brown is a home run hitter. He's a guy that he can take it 85, 90 yards for a touchdown. Noah Cain had 3 carries against Indiana, and his season is done.
And you think about the backs that they've had here in recent years, of course, Saquon Barkley, but Miles Sanders, both are now obviously very successful, not just here, but up in the NFL. And Journey Brown looked like he was going to fit in very nicely with his skill set. So Devin Ford has talent, just he's young.
On 3rd and 2, Clifford from the pocket will take a downfield shot, launches the ball over the heads of Dotson, who was covered by Sevyn Banks. So they take a deep shot on 3rd and 2.
You know, they moved Dotson from the slot this year to the X. Get him outside, give him more opportunities. He's their best receiver. Here they have him up against Banks one-on-one. Interesting shot, 3rd and 2, man-to-man, and a low percentage throw. You know, and maybe they take that chance because now on 4th and 2, I thought, boy, that's crazy. But here they're coming back. Looks like they're going for it.
This might be crazy, too. We'll see.
You're right.
Early urgency. Franklin thinking his defense might have a problem stopping Fields and company. Apparently, unless they're just trying to draw him offside, they'll take a risk. No, it's a screen, but it's flushed out, and now Clifford trying to scramble and make something happen on the run, and just flings it downfield, incomplete, and Ohio State gets the stop and will take over in plus territory. Pete Werner was tracking the quarterback down.
Yeah, a screen pass that's designed to get the ball out to the back forward, but it's sniffed out completely by Tuck Borland. Good job by 32. He's locked up right here. Watch the tight end, Freiermuth, try to block him. Now you got Browning. The combo between Borland's recognition, Baron Browning seeing Freiermuth come down to try to block him. The 2 of them negated that, made Clifford pull it and try to make something happen. Great job by a couple experienced linebackers from Ohio State.
So 3rd and 2, they go deep, and then 4th and 2 don't get it. And now Fields with the short field to work with, trying to build on this lead. Trey Sermon, the Oklahoma transfers the back. They fake it to him, and Fields is firing far side to Garrett Wilson, who makes the catch.
I think it's important to recognize James Franklin looked at that first series and the history of Ohio State's offense and said, hey, I got a lot of confidence in my defense. But for James Franklin, on the first series, to go for it on 4th and 2 shows you the respect that he has for Justin Fields and the explosive ability of the Ohio State offense. He wants to try to score with them and kind of prevent them from getting too many possessions.
Absolutely, but will it backfire? Will they be 2 touchdowns behind here unless the defense can make a stand? Ohio State with a pre-snap 5-yard penalty.
False start. Offense, number 5. 5-yard penalty.
It's kind of an example of
2nd down.
College football in the world that we live, not so much COVID and no fans, but the emphasis on the offense more and more, and possessions and scoring on every possession. And if you don't, you're going to get left behind.
That's a great point. You have to rethink in this new era of football when the defenses have certainly been behind across the country in the start of this season. So 2nd and 10 after the penalty. Chris Olave is available tonight, number 2, who was knocked out of the game against Nebraska, but good to go. Fields under pressure delivers, and there is Olave making the catch. Slipping a couple of tackles, lost the ball, but reached out with that long arm and collected it, picked up 9.
And watch Fields deal with some pressure here. Must for right in his face. Defensive tackle on a twist. Comes clean, and he's able to still get that ball out. You know, Justin Fields is really developed between the experience he gained a year ago, the offseason working on his mechanics, studying film with Ryan Day, knowledge of the offense. He just there's a presence about him that I think is different from where he was, especially early in the year last year.
It's Lance Dixon reaching in, knocking the ball loose. Fumbles for Ohio State. That's what let Penn State back in the game a year ago in Columbus. Lions rallied from 21 down and made it a ball game. Inside, this is Sermon. It's been a long time since Trey's really shown what he can do. Kirk still doesn't look completely healthy from the injury that he suffered late last year for the Sooners.
Yeah, when he came over from Oklahoma, of course, he's been dealing with some injuries. I think he's getting back to a point where, you know, the combination of Sermon and Teague, that's what Ohio State, that's what they have to work with, and they feel that eventually it could be a great tandem in that backfield to complement Fields in the passing game.
He did pick up the first down, so now under pressure, Fields delivers again near side. Trying to juke and escape is Jamison Williams, the sophomore from St. Louis, the fastest wide receiver in this very talented core.
And a lot of times he'll get a cushion just because of the fear and the respect that they have for him to go by you. But Ohio State illustrating here, not necessarily looking for the big play downfield. That'll eventually come for them. But just kind of the spacing, just trying to let Justin Fields feel the defense out early, see the reads, and find the open receiver.
2nd and 3, pump fake, and a long downfield throw, jump ball, catch made, touchdown, Olave! And Ohio State goes 2 touchdowns up. Fields just continues to be brilliant.
Wow, they leave Joey Porter on an island against Olave. People wondered if he would play. Pretty good coverage, outstanding football, and the catch, the concentration by Olave to get the left foot down, have possession of the ball, and have the touchdown. What an incredible effort and a great throw by Justin Fields. That left foot touched first before the right foot came down, so that's a touchdown.
More bad news for Penn State. 2 touchdowns behind and taking a very slow walk to the Nittany Lions sideline is Shaka Toney, their best pass rusher and perhaps best defensive player, period, limping.
Yeah, they were hoping the defensive ends, Toney and Owe, could be a difference, but man, that's next level craziness.
Yes, it is.
With the accuracy and the concentration and the catch, both sides, the quarterback and the receiver.
Next level throw, next level catch against a guy who's going to play at the next level. Porter is an excellent corner, but the execution just too good.
Tight coverage. I mean, he was there in phase.
Overwhelming Ohio State start on the non-whiteout Halloween night at Penn State, 14-0.
Saturday Night Football on ABC is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? In part by Pizza Hut. Order today at pizzahut.com. And Goodyear, helping you discover the road ahead. Goodyear, more driven.
2005 whiteout game, which really ignited the tradition. Tamba Ali tormenting Troy Smith all night. Penn State upset number 6 Ohio State. Buckeyes had 10 points that night. They have 14 already, as you see the 2020 style watch party at the Penn State lacrosse field down there. That may be dwindling that crowd quickly unless the Lions can respond here. If you joined us late, you missed a lot. Ohio State 62 yards on the end around of the opening play, scored in 3 plays. Penn State goes for it in their end on 4th down. Doesn't get it, and the Buckeyes take it to short field, and it is 14-0. To Kevin Nagandi for an update in the studio. Kevin? And the last of the unbeaten to the Big 12, the Pokes go down. I'll tell you, they have exciting games in that conference.
Yeah,
sure do.
That eliminates them from the playoff. The entire
does. Yeah. So Penn State, there is some serious urgency to do something in this possession. Clifford took a look and tried to run and gets slammed a yard behind the line of scrimmage there.
Well, Ohio State's coverage right now doing a really good job on Sean Clifford. Other than the throw to Freiermuth, every time he's coming up and wanting to throw, and a lot of these RPOs, the run pass options, Kirk Shiraka coming over from Minnesota. He likes to implement those within his attack, but the Buckeyes are locked in right now and making Clifford have to hold on to the ball.
Where can they find a matchup win? It's tough against this Ohio State defense, and now they're just teeing off in the pass rush, and Clifford is trapped behind the line of scrimmage. Haskell, Garrett, and Jonathan Cooper. And Haskell Garrett is miraculous that he's on the field.
There he is. There he is right there. He had a pretty good game last week against Nebraska. And, you know, they need a defensive lineman to emerge. You can see right there he's got quickness. And just by getting that push in the middle, it forces Clifford to have to react, and the rest of the defensive line, that's without a blitz. That's just rushing 4.
So it's 3rd and 12 for Clifford and company, trying to avoid the 3 and out, giving the ball right back to Fields. Some pressure, and from the pocket he delivers off the hands of Freiermuth. Well covered there by Josh Proctor, but it is a 3 and out.
Sean Clifford trying to sit in there and hang in the pocket.
Personal foul. Rough passer. Number 5. Throwing the player to the ground. 50 automatic down.
Wow, Baron Browning, the linebacker. A penalty that will prolong Penn State's drive as he slammed Clifford to the ground here.
Yeah, they brought pressure. He gets to him right as he releases the ball, and I think it was the fact that he threw him to the ground. It wasn't so much that it was a late hit. The referee talked about him throwing him to the ground.
I don't know about that. That wasn't a lot there. I know they're trying to protect the quarterbacks.
Man, I didn't see much there at all.
That's a poor call, but Penn State will take it. Moves the ball to the 38 with a first down. Clifford and the keeper again, and he's smothered right there. Tough Borland, the middle backer. They're well aware of the quarterback's running ability.
Yeah, this is really well done on a zone read. So he's reading here, and watch what happens when Cooper collapses down. He comes down, making the quarterback keep it, and look how quickly Tough Borland is there coming around. So he pulls it, and boom, Borland is there before the offensive lineman Fries can get up to make the block on Borland. Anticipation of that play call there by Ohio State's defense.
So 2nd and 13. Fake it to Ford. Clifford on the slant. Catch made by Dodson, and he beats Wade. Not easy to do that, and it's a first down.
That is a great route at the line of scrimmage to get inside, because you're right, Chris, he's kind of looking, where's a matchup I can win? Inside leverage by Wade, but the technique and the quickness allows Dodson to get inside. Look at that defense. I mean, it's been tough sledding. Took some courage there to make that throw, but a great route by Dodson against Wade.
Dodson had the 60-yard touchdown against the Hoosiers that finally put Penn State ahead in that game. It'll be tough to beat Wade tonight. Number 24, one of the best cover corners in college football. Penn State in Ohio State territory. A first down handoff for Ford, who scoops to the middle. That's a gap, breaks a couple of arm tackles, and barrels down near the Buckeyes 20 before Banks stopped him.
Yeah, they keep going to that zone read. Reads Tyreek Smith this time. He stays wide, and that's a handoff. If he collapses down, he would pull it, but he stays wide. Good read. Tough read, but a good read by Sean Clifford. He gets the ball to Ford, and there's the quickness that the coaches have talked about with Devin Ford.
A terrific little cut in the hole by Ford, and Penn State given the gift of that 15-yard penalty, threatening to cut into the lead now. First down at the 22.
See the big tight end at the top, Freiermuth against the corner.
Ford's got it again, and he's got nothing. Borland coming forward again on the tackle. Give him about a yard.
You know, Freiermuth, one of the great things about him, I think he's one of the top tight ends in the country. He can be in line and be physical. He's become a better blocker, or he can go out wide. They flex him around like a receiver. They try to move him around to try to create matchups where he can win, whether against a backer or a smaller corner like Sevyn Banks.
Slot right this time for the junior from Massachusetts, a projected first-round pick. Figures to be his last season at Penn State. 16 career touchdowns. Clifford takes off on the keeper, lowers the shoulder. It's a first down for Penn State at the 11.
That's a great block by the right tackle, Will Fries. Again, these Ohio State linebackers are active, but Fries that time picked up 20. Pete Warner, who was coming up to make the tackle, gets in his way, and Sean Clifford pulling that ball is able to get underneath that block for first down yardage.
5 carries already for the quarterback. 8th play of a drive, again prolonged by a 15-yard personal foul on Browning that is mysterious, frankly. Keeper again. Borland again waiting for him after about a yard gain. He's a willing runner. Sometimes running the football kind of gets Clifford going. Kind of plays better once he gets hit a couple times in the run game.
They say, like a lot of quarterbacks, he gets going in the running game, and it makes him more decisive as a passer. It just kind of locks him in and lets him be part of the game instead of times being a little too conservative or making sure things are right. Again, that's a matchup up top that they would like.
Penn State very poor in the red zone in the opener. Can they clean that up tonight? Looking for the end zone, jump ball, and they try to get the ball up high to Freiermuth, covered by Browning there, and makes a play trying to redeem himself on this drive.
Watch his cut. When he tries to make a cut, boom, he slips, goes down, but give Browning a lot of credit. He, just like myself, he's anticipating there's a good chance I'm out here on an island against a really good tight end. They're probably going to test me. They're going to come after me, throw that fade. He was expecting it. You could see his eyes turn like a corner, waiting for the ball. So even though Freiermuth went down, Baron Browning had positioned himself and located the ball to be able to knock it away.
Red zone inefficiency, a big part of that loss to Indiana. They had 3 empty red zone trips, a turnover and 2 missed field goals. They need a touchdown here, not a field goal the way this has started. 3rd and 9. And a whistle before the snap. Jerry McGinn, the official here.
I thought maybe James Franklin called a timeout before the delay.
Late game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That stings. That makes it really tough. They've got to get all the way to about the 1.5-yard line for a first down.
And for people that just tuned in, keep in mind this is an offense that on their first possession had a 4th and 2 in their own territory at about the 40-yard line and went for it, didn't get it, and Ohio State scored a few plays later. So you got to believe this 4-down territory for them down 14.
Clifford find a play down here in the compressed part of the field. Ford is the back. Ohio State rushes 4. Clifford scrambles, tries to make something happen with his feet. He won't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Forced out. And it's 4th down. Here comes the field goal team.
Nowhere for him to throw the football. And he's waiting. See, they have 2 high safeties. There's just everybody's covered. And I'll tell you, the big fella has to go Garrett again pushing people around and forcing Clifford out. They will actually take the field goal.
Well, Jake Pinniger, very, very reliable. 11 of 12 a year ago, but missed both of his attempts against Indiana. Missed them to the left. One of them was off the upright. This from 31 yards to get the Lions on the board. And whoa! Just did sneak it through. Penn State salvaging something out of a 61-yard, 11-play drive prolonged by the penalty. Not what they were looking for, but they are on the board here. He has a natural hook to his kicks. This one almost hooked outside the upright. 14-3, Ohio State. Now the Pac-12 joins the college football party next weekend. Next Saturday night will be in Autzen Stadium in Eugene. Tyler Shuck, the new Oregon quarterback. David Shaw, for rare down year for Nape. They expect to bounce back in this shortened 2020.
Yeah, I mean, this Oregon team, they had some opt-outs, but enough coming back to get you really excited. I'm excited to see the Pac-12 coming into the 2020 season. And man, David Shaw, tough year last year, but a lot returning. Anxious to see what the Cardinal have as well.
Autzen empty is about like the whiteout without the students here. It's bizarre. And meanwhile, Ohio State's offense has taken full advantage. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, this is the first play of the game. Just stretching Penn State. Some great blocks. Olave makes a great block. You see Garrett Wilson, what he can do. The line of scrimmage, boy, especially the opening drive. Ohio State sending a message to Penn State. 3 plays, they're in the end zone. And then they take advantage of great field position. How about this throw? Great coverage by Joey Porter, but the throw was amazing. And Olave's concentration. The Buckeyes go up 14 early. And Ohio State's offense without question, has found their rhythm. Only 8 plays, but 125 yards and already 2 touchdowns.
So Fields on the season, Kirk 24 to 25. Almost a perfect game. Throws far side and still has just the 1 incompletion on the season. That's Olave climbing the ladder.
It's amazing to think that over the last couple of years, the receivers that Ohio State has lost, Terry McLaurin, he's in the NFL, Paris Campbell, Johnny Dixon, last year KJ Hill, Benjamin Victor, Austin Mack, and yet here's still Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, young freshmen. Just an incredible group and consistency at that spot. And Brian Hartline, their position coach, a great recruiter and a great developer of that group.
Olave, the Californian, as Master Teague goes around the right end and has a first down. Olave, 70 career catches, caught his 16th touchdown. He was about to make a catch in the end zone here. A hard landing, the ball got knocked loose. Great play by the DB, and that's it. That's the only incompletion in 2020 for Justin Fields.
And look at that. I mean, there's a good chance that you're right. The DB makes a play on the ball's thrown a little bit late and behind him, but that's your one incompletion. It's not too bad.
And then Justin on the Zoom call with us, he tries to nitpick. Well, not every throw was where I wanted it to be. Come on.
But he just got it. Doesn't he have a maturity and a poise about him?
Yeah, he's got high standards for himself, that's for sure. Wow. Teague breaks a tackle and barrels forward. Not a home run guy, but you can see that he's tough to tackle. Porter and Brisker got him.
Yeah, again, the offensive line just controlling things up front. You know, for a team that was disappointed with how they ran the ball, there was an emphasis this week on, especially with Master Teague, hey man, get behind your pads and get north and south. Be a physical back. And early in this game, that's exactly what we're seeing.
Yeah, Teague, a modest 3.4 per carry in that game. They don't have a home run hitter like JK, but there aren't many guys like him. The play action, pitch far side, and there's the catch made by Smith and Jigba, one of the talented true freshman receivers.
As you can see, I mean, the running game, there's a run-pass option there. He could have handed it off, or if he feels the corner's soft, he'll just throw it out there and take the quick 6 or 7 yards. That's exactly what he does. So the running game, everything's tied in together within this offense. You don't have to be J.K. Dobbins. It'd be great to have that, but you can still be very effective just by making that front and that box have to respect the running game. That's what they've done here early in this game with Teague.
Final minute of a dominant first quarter for Ohio State, trying to add to the lead. Master Teague, the third, lowers the shoulder. He'll be knocked down a yard short. Lance Dixon stopped him. Could be the end of the first quarter. Ohio State with a 163-yard offensive output, most of it on the ground. And Fields continues to be pretty much flawless in 2020. Ryan Day and the Buckeyes come on the road, minus the usual whiteout energy. A very sharp start. Lions caught a little flat, and they are down 14-3. End of the first quarter. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station.
The super big Samsung QLED TV is made for football.
Ohio State on the march. Time for the second quarter. Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Capital One. 14-3 Buckeyes. They have a 3rd and 1. Penn State 37 as we begin the second quarter. Trey Sermon in the backfield behind Fields, who has gotten off to his typical electric start. He's still got the football rolling and firing downfield. Another dime. Garrett Wilson's got it. And a flag as he's hit after the play. Back on 15.
Oh, yeah, definitely a late hit there. It looked like Brandon Smith hit Garrett Wilson. How about the play call, though, on 3rd and short? You're thinking 2 tight ends. They're going to run the ball, get the first down. No. Wheel route, back shoulder, throw to Garrett Wilson.
Once they get some confidence in this quarterback, they can really open things up.
On the field is a catch. Add to the play. Personal foul. Defense. Late hit out of bounds. Be half the distance to the goal. Automatic. First down.
Yeah, the frustration of this Penn State defense, it's been off balance all night. Tiptoe and then boom, very late.
Yeah, frustration, as you said, but a great play call. And I think you bring up a good point. When you have confidence in your quarterback, it really frees up the playbook.
Handoff to Sermon, who gets down to the 5. P.J. Mustafa on the stop. Penalties continue to be a problem for Penn State. They have enough problems already, but 10 for 100 yards against the Hoosiers in that loss, and that was a factor in the loss.
Yeah, if you look at, really watch the game, give Indiana credit for finding a way to win, but you're right, penalties and the turnovers and the 2 missed field goals.
Not characteristic of Franklin's teams, more than double the average penalty yardage, the turnovers last week. Cannot afford any mistakes against a team this good. Sermon hesitates in the hole. He's wrestled down by Brooks after a short gain. Look at the yardage, more than 2-1 against Indiana. Time of possession, more than 2-1. But the red zone, the turnovers, and penalties, they self-destructed.
Yeah,
Some great plays by the Hoosiers to get back in.
Yeah, of course. But it just goes to show you can dominate, but at the end of the day, there's some critical areas where you have to win. And turnover margin being a big one, and getting points in the red zone. Boy, Ohio State a little more methodical, showing a different way. 8 plays so far in 72 yards.
3rd and goal. Sermon motions back to the backfield. Fields has time on a play clock to make adjustments. From the pocket, has time, launches, and just off the fingertips of Garrett Wilson. The second incompletion of the season, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, 2nd one. But everybody wanted to know the wideout. What's the difference, without a wideout? And we talked about the communication. Listen to this. And that is right in front of the student section. The loudest part of this stadium, no problem, steps up like he's at practice. So that's the area where you don't have the big factor in how it can help the Penn State defense.
He missed it. Automatic. Guy has never missed a PAT in his career. That was almost PAT distance. And Day's team comes up empty. The cardboard cutouts, Kirk, just not able to make enough noise down there. But this one, weird things on Halloween. He missed it from short range. There's the AT&T 5G Skycam. You can check out the AT&T 5G Skycast, streaming live on ESPN3 on the ESPN app. Penn State back to work off the missed field goal by Habio. Clifford 2 completions on 5 attempts in the first quarter for just 29 yards. First down handoff into traffic. Devin Ford stopped right there by Jonathan Cooper. That rebuilt Ohio State defensive line. Some superstars to replace. Cooper, the graduate.
Yeah, you got 7 players off of this defense from a year ago who are not just in the NFL, but playing on Sundays, led by, of course, Chase Young, but a lot of defensive linemen, the secondary, Damon Arnett, Jeffrey Okuda, Malik Harrison, a linebacker.
Cooper, one of the leaders of this whole team. Clifford retreating, and the screen incomplete over the head of Ford. Dangerous because Borland was in the area.
I mean, tough Borland. It seems like he's been playing. We've been calling games here a long time. 32 for Ohio State. It's like he's a coach.
He's only a junior.
I know. I mean, but he's so intelligent. And every time they try to sneak in a screen pass, Borland recognizes the offensive line, and whether they have soft stance or he sees the back sliding out, but he's out there. Even if they catch that, he's going to be tackled for a loss.
See if they bring the heat here on 3rd and 10. Showing some pressure, and they do bring it up the middle. Warner flushes Clifford, who was tackled right at the line of scrimmage. Cooper and Togiai stopped him. It's 4th down.
Yeah, they showed, Chris, you mentioned Browning was up, looking like he might be coming and pressuring right here. And at the end, instead, he drops, and then you get Pete Warner coming right there, and Devin Ford has to pick him up. The collision with Warner right there, I think, spooked Sean Clifford. He had time. Devin Ford picked that up. But I think the collision and how quickly Warner came in made him think, oh, I got to get out. And, of course, that's exactly what Ohio State wanted there on 3rd and long.
Stout, punter, big shoes to fill. Blake Gillikin was a 4-year starting punter for Penn State. And this boot by Stout, and it's a decent one. And it drives Wilson back, and it's fair caught. Plot to 3 and out, gives the football back to Fields, 14-3, Ohio State.
Saturday Night Football, presented by Capital One on ABC, is brought to you by Pacific Life. More than 150 years strong. Trust in your tomorrow. And Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Game day isn't complete without your favorite food and an ice-cold Coke Zero Sugar. Together, taste better.
Controversial, that double overtime whiteout victory for Ohio State. Couple of calls Penn State fans have never forgotten.
Ohio State felt that that was the game in their national championship run where they came together, because the offense, the defense, everybody had to pull together for them to be able to win that game.
Typically they've been thrillers. Ohio State, it's taken a lot for them to come to Happy Valley and win. The marathon march down the field by Dwayne Haskins 2 years ago after Ohio State was badly outplayed in the first half by Penn State. Reverse of that tonight. And they flip it over, short completion there to Jeremy Ruckert, the tight end, tackled by Lamont Wade. Maria?
Well, guys, we've talked a lot about Justin Fields' vegan diet and the changes made in his body. I spoke to Joanne and Avant Fields, and it was their idea. Now, they felt like they were eating too much in quarantine, too much junk food, so they ran into a 28-day diet, and they said that Justin came home and followed it to a T, loved it, lost the most weight. They literally checked in every single day on a board, and she said his dedication kind of sparked the family's interest in maintaining that type of nutrition.
He's very enthusiastic. Yeah. He loves that plant-based diet. And Penn State's got him. A sack in the backfield there. That's big Antonio Shelton, who's a leader of that pregame hype for Penn State.
Yeah, he nothing fancy here. He's an inside pass rusher. He's known really for his power from Columbus, Ohio, fifth-year guy. But Justin Fields holding the ball, nobody open, just holding on to that ball instead of trying to get out of there. And that's been a topic with he and Ryan Day a little bit on when to use the athletic ability to get out and when to hold on.
You said the strength. It's tough to tackle Justin Fields. He grabbed him by one leg, but that was enough to get him down that time.
The entire Penn State coaching staff and players telling us it's one thing to get to him, but bringing him down is a whole different challenge.
First sack for Penn State sets up a 3rd and 17 when you come back. Aerial coverage on this Halloween evening with a full moon, provided by Goodyear. Keep driving from the first kickoff to the final whistle. Goodyear, more driven. 39 degrees. This 2020 non-whiteout. Chris Fowler, Kirk Street, and Maria Taylor back with you. Trey Sermon in the game. Spread out far right, though, on 3rd and 17. 5 receiver look.
We talked all week about the defensive ends, Owe and Tony, and how good they are at rushing the quarterback. Well, on 3rd and 17, if there's ever a time to try to get after the quarterback, this would be it.
Sermon motions back in, perhaps for pass protection. They tried to get it to a screen. He was covered, and now Fields on the run, scanning the field, and runs out of space and is knocked out at the 29. So Penn State able to force a punt.
Yeah, I think they were maybe anticipating a rollout to his right and actually trying to get the ball thrown to Trey Sermon on just a little slip screen, but Lamont Wade took that away. So Penn State's defense gets a stop and gets the ball back to Sean Clifford.
Jahan Dotson back as a returner, hoping to get a chance. Drew Chrisman, the senior punter for Ohio State. Not used much so far this year. He may not get many punts this year, the way Ohio State's offense looks. The snap, ugly looking kick off the side of his foot, will bounce at the 38. Well, didn't get enough practice. Penn State takes over at the 33. We take a look at this Buckeye defense so far.
Yeah, Ohio State has cranked up some pressure, and in the inside they've been physical with Garrett there getting the pass rush on Clifford. Tough Borland, Jonathan Cooper here, a couple veterans. You can see a good job on his own read, where Cooper takes away the running back, and Tough Borland is there to take away the threat of Sean Clifford, and just mixing up looks here on 3rd down and making Sean Clifford up to this point feel uncomfortable. Now, give Penn State some credit here. This thing looked like it was going to get lopsided in a hurry, but it's 14-3, 10 minutes to go in the second quarter, and as bad as it felt early, they put a drive together, and they're right back in this game.
On 1st down, Clifford keeps it, and he is slammed to the ground very quickly there. Haskell Garrett, it is miraculous that he is alive and in this football game. 8 weeks ago, He tried to break up an argument on the street between a couple. A gun was pulled. He was shot in the face. Bullet went in one cheek, out the other. He's had a series of surgeries, lost 5 teeth. Still really has to eat soft foods, protein shakes, but incredible that he's able to come through that and be back playing football that quickly.
It sure is. That just happened a few months ago, and here he is playing, and not only playing very well.
End of August. Clifford take a peek, now takes off, and he'll be trapped after gaining about a yard. Not much there running for the quarterback tonight.
I really came into this game wanting to see Penn State and Clifford and their receivers against the Ohio State secondary, but there's no chance for Sean Clifford. I mean, it's a quarterback draw. They're trying to run the ball, but right now the line of scrimmage, talk about the difference in the game. The line of scrimmage, the Ohio State defensive line and the linebacker play and the physicality and the urgency and downhill and just how athletic and fast they're playing, to me, has been the difference in what's happening with the execution.
Now Kevon Lee, a true freshman tailback, is in there as the Buckeyes bring the pressure. Clifford gets the ball out. Again, trying to find Freiermuth, but he's well covered by Proctor. And just a 2-for-7 start for the Penn State quarterback.
Yeah, and that's one of the more athletic players that Ohio State has in Josh Proctor. They leave him out there. I mean, we talked about Penn State likes this matchup with Freiermuth against anybody. And Ohio State feels that Proctor, who's a highly touted recruit a couple years ago, really physical, really good ball skills, and that time in pretty good phase there with Freiermuth on 3rd down.
Yeah, would have taken a perfect throw to beat that coverage, and he couldn't come up with it. Stout wants it high. Wilson drifting back and makes the fair catch at the 19. There's a flag down on the punt, so hold everything here. I mentioned Penn State's defense has been able to kind of stabilize after the first 2 possessions, but the offense has not been able to do enough to kind of cut into this lead. Trying to find a matchup they can exploit in the pass game.
Return team during the kick. The 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. 1st down. Timeout.
So the 10-yard penalty on special teams means that Fields and company will take over from the 11, up 11, 8:29 before halftime. Tomorrow morning, Sunday NFL Countdown. Tua Tagovailoa is going to make his first start, so the gang is going to talk to some of the great left-handed quarterbacks in NFL history. Then Monday night, Kirk Herbstreit's New York Giants try to shock Brady and the Buccaneers.
Give me the Steelers. Give me the Steelers.
Better lefty all-time quarterback, Steve Young or the Snake Stabler? Who for you is the best all-time lefty quarterback? Think about it.
Yeah, I think Steve Young.
No right answer. It's just an opinion. Sermon stopped for a yard.
I like Steve's style. I like his ability to run, throw before. It was still you have to make plays from the pocket.
Right.
Steve Young was out creating and being an athlete.
Michael Vick had things gone differently. Perhaps could have been one of the all-time great lefty quarterbacks. Boomer Esiason in that mix as well.
Yeah.
2nd and 9. Sermon again. He's forced out wide there. That's good play by the Penn State defensive front. Jason Owe got out there, and it's a short game.
Actually, he stayed in bounds a little bit further than I thought. He got it all the way, set up a 3rd and 2. It looked like he was going to get pushed out of bounds. Shows right there that left foot is in bounds.
There he goes out. So it sets up a 3rd and 2. Look to throw for it, and it's incomplete. Wilson was in coverage. He was interfered with by Lamont Wade. Would not have been complete anyway.
No.
A mental mistake by Wade.
No, and that is a tough throw on 3rd and short. As good as Justin Fields is, it was good coverage until once the ball got there, he made contact with Wilson.
5. The ball be placed at the spot of the infraction. Automatic.
Chris, his position of his body between Fields and Wilson, he's right where he needs to be. I mean, right there, he pulls on the jersey there a little bit even before he interfered with him. But like you said, that ball is going to be incomplete.
Wade, a co-captain of this defense, was actually in the transfer portal in the offseason, but decided to stay. He was able to knock the ball, force 3 fumbles against Ohio State in that loss in Columbus a year ago, but the penalty gives the Buckeyes a first down. Sermon's got it again, and Sermon cutting back, maybe finding the rhythm. He's out near the 40.
Nice job by that, again, that offensive line, the tight ends. You know, Jeremy Ruckert, 88's becoming a really good blocking tight end. Came in known more as for his receiving skills, but the entire offensive line, and you're right, Chris, you know, Trey Sermon that time showing some lateral quicks.
High expectations as there's a rare incompletion, a low throw by Fields. High expectations when Sermon came over, even though he did have the injury a year ago. A quiet start in the opening game against Nebraska, but he's starting to get going now.
Yeah, and I think it's great for him to be able to have he and Master Teague. You know, it's a, you know, you'll take a series, I'll take a series. It allows them to both stay fresh and healthy.
Empty backfield, 3 receivers are bunched to the left. It's just a quick pitch and catch across the middle to Luke Farrell, the big senior tight end, and it's a first down. Penn State territory.
Condensed formation, so you've got all these receivers in tight, and eventually they're going to work their way outside. Penn State starts to work outside, and they forget about the biggest target in Farrell.
Field zips it far side. Another easy pitch and catch. Olave in front of Castro Fields.
Again, there's the awareness within this offense, the connection with Ryan Day, the tempo. He could have handed that ball off, or if he senses the corner's soft, he can just come out of that run game when the linemen think it's a run and just flip it out there and try to get positive yards.
4th catch for Olave, who was a question mark all week at the touchdown of the first quarter. Fields still has the football and just fires. Another brilliant throw. Wow, Jamison Williams makes the catch on the sidelines.
He kind of used himself, tried to be a decoy, showing that he's going to block, and then goes downfield and see if he gets the foot down. He had the left foot down before the right foot hit. So did a nice job there, just kind of looking like showing the defense, hey, don't worry about me, I'm just blocking, and then snuck down that right sideline. Defense lost him.
Another pretty throw on the move. Fields in the flat. In time, Garrett Wilson's penned up. He'll be tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Proving play by Jair Brown, the safety.
Ellis Brooks is out there, 13, but it's just a lot of defenders. Wade, Brown is there, like you said, Chris. But look at it. Look at it. You have 4 different blue jerseys, couple blockers, but just too many Penn State defenders.
Ryan Day frustrated every time a play doesn't gain big yardage on offense.
Well, he just doesn't want to get behind the sticks. They've been in attack mode on this drive.
Lost 4 on that completion. Olave comes in motion back to the far side of the formation. Fields rolls out in the flat. Wide open is Wilson, and he's knocked out hard. But it's another first down.
Now they use this as a levels concept, and they use Wilson and boot him this way, and Wilson ends up getting lost. With all that pre-snap movement, you see Wilson sneak out to that right flat, and Penn State's defense not communicating and picking him up, and Ohio State loves that formation and usage of the receiver.
Sermon with a run. That's a tough play for Shane Simmons, the defenseman. Didn't know what to do. Go with Wilson, go up to the quarterback.
That levels concept where you have a deep receiver, intermediate, and a short. Ryan Day runs that a lot in just a lot of different ways. Loves to use the backside. A lot of times it'll be a tight end. That time it was Garrett Wilson. Simmons can't make that play out in the flat. Usually it's got to be a defensive back to stay with a guy with the speed of Garrett Wilson. It's a tough play to defend.
Buckeyes have marched at 80 yards, just the 11th play of this drive. Sermon slams forward into Ellis Brooks, who stopped him at the 5. It'll be 3rd down and 3. Penn State's defense on the ropes early in this game, trying to hang around. Forced a short field goal attempt earlier in the quarter, which Hobbiel missed. Now trying to do the same again. Buckeyes need 3. And Clapp to try to get a look at the defense and make the adjustment. And it's a sneak. And Fields is strong, stopped short of the goal line, but it'll be 1st and goal.
Yeah, this Penn State defense psyche has really been challenged here in the first half. And something to remember, you know, Micah Parsons, one of the top players in the country, opted out, one of the leaders of this team, and not having him, not having Jesse Lucchetta, the linebacker who provides leadership, he's also out this first half with a targeting call in the second half against Indiana. And then to have to go through all this. So this is a big drive for Ohio State to continue to try to pound on that psyche at Penn State.
2 tight ends in the formation on 1st and goal. Teague to the left of Fields. Olave motions, and look at this tight formation. High snap. Fields has to try to track it down. He does so way back at the 14. So the snap getting away from him.
A rare mistake by Josh Myers, the center. That ball was fired back. And very fortunate that Fields, a former baseball player, was just able to get his hands on it to slow it down before it went way over his head, and then he was athletic enough to jump on it.
Well, that's the kind of help that Penn State's defense needs. Frankly, Ohio State on the doorstep, trying to go up 21-3. Now it's 2nd and goal from the 14. Sermon is the back. Fields flips it to him in the flat. Couple of blocks, but he'll be knocked down. Nice play by Brandon Smith. It's 3rd and goal now from the 10.
Really good play by Brandon Smith, because he had a convoy of a couple blocks in front of him, and with the blitz called the way they did, the fact that Fields got it off, that had a chance for a touchdown.
Dave frustrated. He knows that it's been a dominant first half, a chance to really add to the lead here.
See Brooks, Chris, on the blitz, and now you got receivers blocking. You got a couple of your offensive linemen out in front. The key here, once 13 blitzes, nobody picks up Sermon. You're thinking big play, and that's why you saw Ryan Day frustrated. He wanted better blocking downfield, and could have been very easily been a touchdown.
Garrett Wilson looked like he was wary of blocking in the back, but he kind of just olayed his man that time. So what's the call here? Interesting. It's an important moment here in this game, because Penn State's been completely outplayed. Down 11. They would get the ball to begin the second half. If they can keep Ohio State out of the end zone, they can keep hope alive.
This is huge. Yeah, this is huge. And again, I think you're wondering why Ryan Day is so animated, up 14-3 and in control of this game, because of what you just said. This is a big opportunity for both these teams. Let's see what happens.
On a normal whiteout, it'd be deafening right now. This is right into the teeth of the student section. Penn State running a guy on very late. There's such serious confusion on the defensive side. They snap it on the slant, and a touchdown. Walking in was Jeremy Ruckert, and the Lions weren't ready at all on that side of the football.
Yeah, two different. One guy ran onto the field, and I'm sure that it was tough. I think it was Brown, the safety. Miscommunication. They had a second guy, looked like he wanted to come on, but once they blitz up the middle, and Justin Fields read it perfectly, nobody left in the middle, and an easy throw to the big tight end Ruckert for a touchdown.
So Dominic DiMaccio has been the kickoff man tonight. He's in to take the PAT. Punishment for Javier, who lost his focus and missed the chip shot. And DiMaccio knocks it through, but it is 21-3 Ohio State.
Yeah, and look at the top where you've got a couple players here that are coming on, trying to figure out. Looks like that's Jair Brown. He's on, and then you see another one. Hardy, 25, tries to come on, and then once they blitz their backers, nobody left right here, and Ruckert with an easy touchdown for Ohio State. But boy, after a timeout, all the excitement, the build-up, you'd think everybody'd be on the same page for Penn State's defense, but they were not in place, not in position.
Ruckert, better known as a blocker, makes the touchdown reception. You wonder, why not spend a timeout? They had one, and the crucial nature of that play, a 3rd and goal from the 10, it seemed like with that confusion, it would have been a good idea to spend the timeout.
I thought they would. I thought they would, especially once you saw a couple different players coming on. One stayed on the field, the other got off the field.
So backed up, bad field position after the penalty on special teams doesn't matter. Fields and the Buckeyes, 15 plays, 89 yards, 606, and that is a crushing score for the home underdogs. 2:23 before halftime. And DiMaccio will kick it off. Parker Washington, true freshman, electric receiver from Texas, hoping to have an opportunity. He runs over and he'll field it at the 3. Washington, he can fly, but typical excellent coverage from Ohio State stops him at the 19. Chris Felica, the Bear, in the den with the Affleck trivia question tonight.
Since the Penn State Nittany Lions joined the Big Ten in 1993, these teams have played a bunch of one-point games, 3 of them.
But it's not the most,
But
is
it's
it?
not the most. Tonight's Affleck trivia question, which 2 teams in the FBS have played the most one-point games since 1993?
Well, how much time do you spend each week on the Affleck trivia question? Because there's always a good hook, right?
More than I probably should.
Man, how do you come up with that answer?
93. Meanwhile, Penn State trying to dent this lead. They have 3 total yards in the second quarter. Clifford has 2 completions tonight and a long way to go. Try to cut the margin before the break here. Ford slams forward.
You know, their pass game, you mentioned the 2 completions. A lot of it has been vertical, you know, waiting for receivers to try to get open downfield, and you know, they're just not. He's holding on to the ball because there's been great coverage, but I thought you might see more crossers trying to work against the Ohio State defense instead of trying to go downfield.
Dynamic pass game of the opener. It was 24 of 35, 238 at Indiana. Capital One halftime report. Kevin Negandhi, Mark Sanchez, and Booger McFarland. Update you on the scores and the highlights. What's going on the evening session. Alabama total control. A&M over Arkansas at the moment. You want another look at the highlights of Clemson's historic comeback at home against Boston College, and the Spartans upset of 3-touchdown favorite Michigan. And what happened there? We saw Michigan beat Minnesota. You questioned maybe that a little bit when you saw the Gophers lose last night to Maryland, and now Michigan suffering a home field loss. Ohio State looks like clearly the best team in this conference by some distance. From the pocket, he is swallowed up and sacked by that Ohio State pass rush. Buckeyes had a good first half.
Yeah, but really it's the coverage. Again, I just talked about it. For Sean Clifford, he's frustrated. You want to point the finger at Clifford, but really it's the coverage. This time it's Pete Werner right here, matched up again against Freiermuth. You watch the head of the quarterback. He's waiting to make this throw, but he feels that it's covered, so he ends up, by the time he wants to come off of it, try to find 3, Washington underneath, who's coming on the other side. Then you see 3 right there. He's going to get sacked with the pressure. So it's a combination of really good coverage by Ohio State, and by the time Clifford makes up his mind, Ohio State's got enough athletic ability and speed to get to him.
Rick, you figure the 2 ways you could possibly attack this Ohio State defense based on trends. Quarterback runs. They've been vulnerable to quarterback runs. Trevor Lawrence got him last year in the semifinal in that long march. Nebraska really hurt him with quarterback runs. Or throws to the tight end. Ohio State's given up the most receptions by opposing tight ends of any Big Ten team since the beginning of last year. But Freiermuth just the 1 catch tonight and a sandwich on the quarterback. His hat's ripped off at the end of the play.
Well, I mean, we could talk about trends all we want. All I'm seeing tonight is at the line of scrimmage, a complete Penn State's offensive line being dominated. And Ohio State's coverage unit doing a really good job as far as pass coverage, doing a good job of making Clifford hold on to the ball. Clifford doesn't have much help right now. I mean, he doesn't have much of a chance.
He lost his helmet, so Will Levis has to come in. The backup quarterback comes in. 3rd and 12 against this defense. What do you got? Well, he's a good runner. Yeah, he's not going to be able to get there. Tried to stiff arm Proctor, didn't work. And it's 4th down. Punt coming up, and Ohio State will get the football back with a chance to add to the lead before halftime.
Yeah, as soon as they saw 7 come in, I think there were visions of last year. Levis came in and did pretty well against Ohio State a year ago, and you saw Proctor, as soon as he saw him, didn't hesitate at all. They were expecting a run and came up there quickly, and Ohio State using those timeouts, wanting to get the ball back.
Yeah, Levis came in when Clifford was knocked out, actually led Penn State to a touchdown in his first possession, and it sparked a comeback. Wilson back to receive the punt from Stout. Wilson standing at his 40. It's a short kick. They brought the heat. He was able to get the punt away anyway, and it takes a favorable roll down to the 32. So a minute 16 for Ohio State. No timeouts left. Back to the Bear for the Affleck answer.
Do you have even a guess at this? I don't have a guess.
I think it's got to be a conference game typically because it's annual games.
That would be correct.
Give us 1 second here. Give us
yeah,
one.
we got time. I'll give you the update on Alabama and Mississippi State right now if you want. It's
sure.
It's now with 18-3 first downs.
Well, give us a hint to this question. 18-3.
It is there are two teams from the SEC. How about that?
LSU, Alabama? No.
Tennessee, Florida.
Alabama's one of the teams. We asked the half doctor trivia question tonight. Which two teams in the FBS have played the most one-point games since '93? It's Alabama and Arkansas, if you would believe that or not. Probably not the team you would have
never
thought
that.
Are we 0 for the season? I think I got one right.
He needs to come back down to the JV level. His questions are...
Are you saying we're JV?
No, I'm saying who can answer these questions without Google or something? Nobody can get those questions.
Spend less time on them.
Yeah, that would help.
Sermon with the short gain. Let's see what Ohio State can do. They don't have a timeout, and it's now inside of a minute, so no great urgency at the start of the possession, but that can change quickly. Fields fires, almost intercepted. Making a nice break was Joey Porter Jr. The talented freshman corner came in front of Olave.
Well, he's a really good-looking corner, and even the play where he gave up the touchdown, he was in pretty good coverage here. Does a good job of just jumping the route. Sees the ball, he's in zone, he's got his eyes where they need to be, and jumps the route, does a good job of getting up there and gets his hands on it, almost came up with the interception.
Kind of play this Penn State defense needs. Porter, of course, the son of Joey Porter, Steeler legend. 35-inch arms on this guy. Talk about a long corner. It's long.
Yeah, and he's 6'2".
3rd and 6 here. Fields hands it off. Sermon knocked down just short. So it's 4th down, and the clock will wind down. Penn State could stop it with the timeout. See if they will.
My guess is they want to get to back to the drawing board and try to figure out this offense.
Offense on the field here? Is they really going to gamble and go for it, or are they just going to try to get Penn State to either burn the timeout or let the clock run down? Franklin will keep that timeout in his pocket. There's a 3-second difference between play and game clock. And they will just let it run down. They'll take the delay of game with 2 seconds in the half. Total yards here, 283 to 75. Ohio State setting the tone on the very first play of the game. End around to Garrett Wilson, and 62 yards later, Buckeyes on the doorstep. They punched it in. And Penn State caught a little flat in this funky non-white out. And the Buckeyes have been very, very efficient. So now they don't even have to punt it with just 2 seconds. He can stay up and take a knee, and the clock at 0-0. Ohio State in control, scored early and scored late in the half, and Penn State down by 18 points on Halloween night. End of the first half in Not So Happy Valley. Capital One halftime report coming up right after these messages.
I mean, it seems like it was well over 2 seconds. Ohio State was in the locker room. Penn State worked their way out.
Yeah, Penn State was halfway in. They had to come back out. It's going to be Penn State football because that was a 4th down play. Again, deciding not to punt it, but just to take a knee. Bill LaMagna is our official in the booth here. Bill, this is a bizarre situation.
It is unusual, and the replay has a right to look at that to see if there's time left. But we both saw that he took the ball, he stepped back. I think he was looking at the clock straight ahead from him. I wonder if the clock into the replay booth that they're seeing in the screen is the live time clock. Because this should be
there
over.
was 1 second left on the clock. Be 1st and 10 for Penn State.
Well, they did not start the clock when the ball was snapped. There was a little bit of a delay there. And now Penn State, with 1 second on the clock, can try a field goal of 50 yards from Jake Pinniger. This is within his range. He's hit it from 55. This will be a bizarre end of the half and a free 3 points for Penn State if Pinniger can convert here. Actually, check it. It's Jordan Stout, the long-range field goal kicker. Not Pinniger. So Stout from 50 hit from 5 yards longer than this in the pregame warm-up. He drives it, and that is wild. It's into the net, and now the lead is just 21-6. Ryan Day still cannot believe that the slow clock start gave Penn State a chance to do that.
Wow. And now Penn State gets, as you said, gets the ball to start the second half. I mean, if you just go by him taking the snap and backing up, I mean, it seemed like it was closer to 3 seconds than it was 2, but they reviewed it and said there was still a second on the clock. Ryan Day's got to be furious.
Well, it's Halloween. It's got a full moon. It's non-whiteout. It's weirdness here. Wonder if that will come into play. Only if Penn State can make a push in the second half. 21-6. Bizarre finish here. Back to Kevin Nagandi for the Capital One halftime report. This time we mean it.
Don't forget to vote on Election Day, November 3rd. For more information, visit IamAvoter.com.
And welcome back. Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Capital One, in this presentation of the Big Ten on ABC. Well, weird finish to the end of the first half. Remember, on 4th down, 2 seconds to go, Ryan Day elects not to punt, tells Justin Fields to take a knee, backs up. The knee did go down with 1 second to go, but did the clock start on time? Day certainly doesn't think so. He's demonstrating how much time his quarterback took. Right. Incredulous.
He's actually walking the referee through it, so Penn State gets a field goal opportunity from 50, and they hit it.
Jordan Stout driving it through. Day continuing the conversation here. Maybe a little too cute. Maybe if you're Justin Fields, take 1 or 2 extra steps back just to make sure. May not make a difference because this Ohio State defense, Kirk, has been so strong so far. Penn State gets the ball right now to start the third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things. I'm sure that Ryan Day went into the halftime locker room and said, hey, let's forget about that. Let's move forward and get ready to go into the second half. And Penn State, their offense, with a new offensive coordinator, they've got to be thinking about, man, everything that we put together, we've got to start over. We've got to find a new way and a new plan to attack Ohio State because really not much has worked at all. Not just for Clifford, but for the running game as well.
Yeah, Clifford, a very frustrating first half. Of course, very keyed up to play this game against his home state Buckeyes after getting knocked out of the loss in Columbus a year ago. Dominic DiMaccio is a third-year walk-on. He's a junior, not the regular kicker. Javier, we don't know if he strained something or was out there early, but has not been kicking off and did not take that last PAT. Doesn't matter, the walk-on just boots it in the end zone. Here's our Pacific Life game summary. Started first half here.
Started fast with Garrett Wilson. First play of the game, Ohio State was able to get their offensive rhythm going, and then the second series after an opening touchdown, Fields hits Olave and really dominance for Ohio State on that side of the ball. And Ohio State defense, Chris, you touched on Clifford, who's not been able to get things going, only 29 yards through the air, but as an offense, only 75 yards in the first half. And I talked a lot about the line of scrimmage. Ohio State dominated that aspect, whether Penn State was running or throwing.
Penn State needs an explosive play in the worst way. And instead, nothing. Zach Harrison storms in there. The ball, was it ever handed off between Clifford and Ford? You couldn't tell. He tackled both of them.
You got to understand, that's who he's reading. So the quarterback is reading Harrison to determine, is he taking the back or is he taking the quarterback? One or the other. No, I'll take both. I mean, I'll take both. So I don't know how you make that read if you're
Did you get credit for 2 tackles? You knocked 2 guys down?
How do you read that? He engulfed them both.
2nd and 12. Play action. Clifford across the middle. And they find Freiermuth. Finally, the big tight end gets clear, and it's a first down. He beat Browning finally.
That's what I thought we'd see more of, crossing routes. And that's exactly what they do with the big tight end. And they work him across the field, and Browning tries to stay with him. This gives him a better chance instead of those outcuts with the big tight end. So I thought you might see more seams, more upfield shots, and more where he can use his body.
A big physical body. He's in the slot to the right, and they flip it back across the middle. And the completion made to Parker Washington, the electric true freshman from Texas here. And Penn State's got some rhythm. They got some juice to begin the third quarter.
We talked in the first half about the coverage for Ohio State and how it was taking Clifford is holding the ball because a lot of the routes were going upfield, and how they're coming out here these first couple plays. You can see the adjustment is to try to take advantage of going sideline to sideline and try to get some separation. There was zero separation in the first half with the Penn State receivers from the Ohio State coverage. Now, first two throws for Clifford in the second half, you can see it.
Asking at the break, why do you think they're making it so tough for the quarterback to get the ball to Frymouth? They make the adjustment now, coming out of the slot on the slant there. That's Keandre Lambert-Smith, another true freshman, and the Lions are marching. First down.
And the other thing is he's getting the ball out of his hands quickly. Clifford that time felt the pressure by Garrett, who's had another big night for the Ohio State interior, that defensive line. But with the quick slant call there behind that pressure with the linebackers coming downhill, he's able to get the ball out with another run-pass option concept, feeling those linebackers flying downhill. He pulled it out and made the throw to the quick slant.
2 completions in the first half, 3 in a row here in this possession. First 2 minutes of the quarter. He keeps it again, tries to get away to the corner. Too much speed. Marcus Williamson, the safety, strung it out, and then Seven Banks forced him out.
But Cooper again, zone read. He takes the back, eliminates him, and then you have the safety Williamson coming down. So again, he makes this read, collapses down. He's going to pull it, but watch the safety then Phil does a good job forcing him to go sideline to sideline. And there's Banks as well, the corner, getting off of his block. Great team speed by Ohio State.
Clifford as a runner tonight, just 9 yards on 13 carries. Fires, and it's Dotson. Big cushion there in front of Banks, and another first down.
See, I thought they might try Seven Banks just because he's inexperienced, hasn't played a lot. Here, Dotson turns him on a simple outcut. Banks' eyes are in the backfield, not on his man, and it's an easy route, easy throw, and another first down for the Lions, who are now in the red zone.
Yeah, when Wade's on the other side, you want to challenge Banks, he's still raw. He missed some practice, injured in camp. They found a matchup. Clifford tries to run, cannot escape. Again, quick penetration. Tyler Friday grabbed the quarterback, gets a short gain.
Ohio State's still trying to see early in the year who's going to be the next defensive end. We saw Zach Harrison make a play. Now it's Tyler Friday, 6'3", 265. Showing some burst himself, known more as a power rush man, but that time really good get off at the line of scrimmage.
One of those new faces up front, a junior from New Jersey. Ford is the back on 2nd and 9. They fake it to him over the middle. Clifford fires! Touchdown! Jahan Dotson! And Penn State, right out of the gate in the third quarter, finds the end zone for the first time and cuts into the lead.
Second time on this drive that Sean Clifford was able to go to the slant, and he's kind of feeling, he puts the ball in the belly, feels the linebackers coming downhill, and then is able to hit the slant behind that. Watch him feel the backers, pulls it. Now he's got a nice throwing lane. And again, with Banks being soft in coverage, they'll take that matchup. They think Dotson can beat him, and that's going to be a matchup now to watch in the second half. Ohio State going after the inexperienced Seven Banks.
It's a different quarterback. You said different routes, different throws for him. 2 of 7 in the first half on that drive. Clifford 5 for 5. And you wondered, would that clock controversy at the end of the half create momentum? Could Penn State cash in on that gift of 3 points as Marcus Hooker goes off slowly? And they have struck very quickly. 75 yards in 8 plays, just 346. All of a sudden, we got a ball game Halloween night.
I came into this game, I said it in the first half, anxious to see the Penn State passing game against basically a new secondary with the exception of Sean Wade. You got Marcus Williamson, you got Marcus Hooker, Seven Banks. How would they try to attack them? No luck in the first half. That drive is what you thought you might see a little bit more of.
Clifford fired up. Franklin and company back within 8. College Football Playoff National Championship Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper. Monday, Jan 11 in Miami. will be awarded at the semifinals at the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl on New Year's Day. Goodyear providing our aerial coverage on this crisp Halloween evening. No matter the season goes your way, keep moving forward. Goodyear, more driven. Penn State driven 75 yards to cut into this lead. It was 21-3 with a second to go in the first half. They got that field goal with the bizarre clock management situation, and then right out of the gate find the end zone for the first time tonight. The call will leave it there. Maria, what do you have?
Well, right after that Penn State score, you could see Sean Clifford very animated. He comes over, pounds his chest, and pointed up to the stands and said, I told you, I told you. And he gave high fives to everyone on the offense, telling them, way to take the field, men. Now, I was right in the tunnel when Ohio State had that issue, and you could see Ryan Day completely confused as the officials were telling him that they had to take the field again. The entire team was in the locker room, so certainly not the way that you want to go into the half, Chris.
Definitely not. You wondered if that might make him mad, but instead Penn State comes out with inspiration and different kind of pass patterns for Clifford to connect with his various targets. And now Justin Fields accompanied back to work, but it's suddenly a one-score game. It's a pitch to Master Teague on an option look, and the lines fly up there. That's Brandon Smith combining there. Remember, Jesse Luketa, number 40, can now come back in the game after having to sit out the first half. Right. Targeting, he's in there.
Yeah, and what great job of getting off of blocks by 3 different Penn State defenders, just flying to the football there.
Quickly, they get the ball to Olave on the edge. He dives forward out across the 30, and it'll be third down. He made about 4.
And don't underestimate Luketa and what he brings to this defense. His experience. Brent Pry telling us with Luketa and Ellis Brooks in the middle, without having, of course, Micah Parsons, it just provides so much more knowledge and understanding of the scheme and the plan.
One of the captains, in fact, they made the comparison to Jason Kabinda, one of your favorite Penn State players in recent years.
Yeah, of all time.
Because he was an inspirational leader as well, and a very physical linebacker. Luketa.
Looks like Joey Porter, by the way, getting helped off the field.
That's a concern for Penn State. Talented freshman corner, and that would be a rough component to this game for Penn State. Let's take a look at the very end of the play and see what we can see. As Porter going down, can't see much from the fall to the ground there. So he got tangled up with Olave. Marquise Wilson, a teammate over there as well. So he finally has made his way to the far sideline, being helped off by the athletic trainers. We'll keep you posted there. Wilson now into the game opposite Castro Fields at corner. 3rd and 4 meanwhile. Penn State defense trying to get a stop and keep the momentum going. Buckeyes 4 of 7 on 3rd in the first half. Fields pressured, hit as he throws, but he gets it out incomplete. First down to Garrett Wilson.
Boy, showed patience there, almost too much patience, but just reading and letting the play develop. I think he wanted to go to Olave, towards working his way towards the middle, but came off of him and eventually found Garrett Wilson there for the first down.
It's a big conversion, trying to regain momentum, and now in first they're looking to throw, and the ball's batted down at the line of scrimmage by big Antonio Shelton.
Yeah, Shelton's made his presence felt. He's been able to get there. He had a sack earlier. I thought we might see more pressure from the edges tonight with Owe 28 and Tony 18, but it's been the middle. And even when Shelton can't get there, he's been disruptive. Good job getting his hands up there and knocking that ball down. Again, keep in mind, from Columbus, Ohio, so the 5th-year senior fired up.
In the pocket, ball caught. Stiff arm by Wilson against Wade. Able to move forward. He'll be 2 yards, yard and a half short. 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, the accuracy from Fields, so important on those kind of throws. Give his receiver a chance to catch the ball and run with it after.
They play with tempo on 3rd down, and they convert. Teague falling forward. Penn State's defense not really set for play.
Shelton was going off the field. We just talked about the big fella, and he was almost maybe 3/4 of the way off the field, and then they got his attention, And now the 300-pounder had to turn around and jog back out, and he didn't even really get back into the interior, and that's exactly where they ran.
Now he's able to jog off. There's this Penn State defense still trying to get its footing here. A couple of chances to get Ohio State off the field, haven't been able to do it. Wilson comes in motion, but Fields has it from the pocket and now fires to Olave. Wilson, excuse me, far side, and Smith forces him out. Interesting play.
Yeah, Ryan Day, you know, of course, they handed it to Garrett Wilson on the first play of the game, and just trying to use different pieces of the offense that affect the eyes of the safeties and test their discipline. That time he wanted to try to get Olave on a post vertically downfield, but it was taken away, so was forced to check it down to Garrett Wilson.
Fields pump fakes, wants to take it downfield, shot, that's Olave, fingertip catch, touchdown! The second connection from number 1 to number 2, and Ohio State stretches the lead again.
And Justin Fields with the throw, but Ryan Day, his NFL background, knowledge to, you know, you go after the corner. Who just came in for Joey Porter? Let's go after Marquise Wilson, number 8, the sophomore, who's been out there for about 2 plays. That's how you attack a vulnerability. And I'm not saying that Wilson's not a great player. That's a great catch again by Olave. But the play call and the design to take your best receiver, get him matched up against the guy who just checked into the game for the first time, and take him vertically and trust your quarterback and receiver to hit it.
Camacho with the PAT. Yeah, he didn't catch it clean the first time. It was off his fingertips, but he grabbed it on the second time. Ohio State, 75-yard drive, another beautiful pitch and catch. Olave just able to hold on. Justin Fields, mom and dad, a high five. 28-13 Buckeyes.
Saturday Night Football, presented by Capital One on ABC, is brought to you by General Mills. This football season, no matter where you are or how you pregame, we are all Tailgate Nation. Find game day recipes and savings at wearetailgatenation.com. And Nature Valley, we are better outside.
And watching that Penn State furious comeback down in Georgia was Justin Fields, then in high school.
The reason I actually committed to Penn State was that year they beat Ohio State. And I was like, yo, this school is crazy, so I got to commit there. But, yeah.
Changed his mind, Athens, GA, and ended up playing against Penn State and Ohio State, of course.
Another great night so far, 20-24. You see the numbers, 219, 3 through the air. And how dangerous is Justin Fields to Chris Olave becoming? I mean, it was a great last year, but almost going to another level this year.
Fair catch on the field goal. Next Saturday, Pac-12 play gets underway next weekend. Ducks are ranked number 14 without playing a game. Stanford Cardinal looking for a bounce back. Watson Stadium, presented by Capital One, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 for you fans on the West Coast. You've been waiting to see your college football teams get on the field.
Can't wait. Can't wait to get out west and welcome the Pac-12 to the 2020 season and see 2 great brands, 2 great programs and coaches, and see them go head-to-head.
So Penn State back to work, move down the field quickly to cut into this lead. The first touchdown of the night came on their last possession, but momentum didn't last long. Penn State's defense could not get the Buckeyes off the field in that previous drive.
Remember,
Isaiah Holmes, by the way, is the freshman out of Titusville, Florida. Cocoa High School on the Atlantic coast there. He's into the ball game, and out of the backfield, they flip it short. Catch made by Parker Washington, another freshman class member.
Remember, it's been a lot of crossing routes. We got a late flag here. Like this looked like it was well after the play in the backfield.
Head to the play. Personal foul. Defense, number 6. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Taron Vincent, he didn't clear the play against Nebraska. This is his first action of the season. And that's going to move Penn State out near 45-yard line.
Yeah, I was just saying that, you know, a lot of the crossing routes that helped him on that first drive. There's Farrell walking off, being helped off anyway. But this is after the play. They again try to get another one of those crossing routes, and Vincent give him the Penn State player a little push. I think it was just because of the timing. Well after the play is why they called that.
Marcus Hooker, remember the safety, injured on Penn State's touchdown at the end of the last drive. So Cameron Brown is in the game. Play action. Clifford pressured, sidesteps the rush, and has to just throw it away. Well, Twan Jackson pressured him.
Here comes the defensive coordinator from Ohio State now trying to make his adjustments. We've seen what Penn State's done, so now you have crossing routes. Let's watch Pete Werner. See what he learned about that last drive. He's coming up. I got to get back. There's that crossing route. Got to try to take that away. Good recognition and knowledge there by Werner, who's a linebacker, but really athletic enough that plays out in space as a safety. Here he is right now, walked out.
Number 2 tackler on the defense a year ago. Holmes is still the back. 2nd and 10. They fake it to him and fire it across the middle. Again, a slant into heavy traffic trying to find Dotson. And he was pressured again.
I couldn't tell if that ball slipped out of his hand or if it was deflected at the line, right when he released that ball by the big fella, Garrett, who continues to be a force in the interior. But no, it just kind of came out strange there. But a lot tighter windows now with those quick slants and those crossing routes.
So Hooker back in the game, by the way, closing in on Dotson. 3rd and 10. Buckeyes bring some pressure. And Clifford trying to stay alive. Werner got there early, got a hand on him, and then cleaning things up. Togiai has been a monster force in the middle of that D-line tonight.
Well, Togiai's doing a good job of just getting off of his blocks and cleaning things up, but it's the blitz here, confusion here that allows Ohio State to make Clifford uncomfortable. It's picked up again. Clifford, I think, senses it as opposed to needing to get out of there. I think he feels the pressure right in his face with the linebackers blitzing, and it's spooking him quite a bit.
That's perfectly said. On Halloween night, he is getting spooked by ghosts. I mean, the real things are scary enough, but he's now seeing rushers that really aren't threatening him. Wilson lets it bounce over his head and into the end zone, so a long punt, but a touchback. Justin Fields, 3 more touchdown passes tonight for the man who could become the Heisman frontrunner. Next player spotlight brought to you by Taco Bell. Take a look at the first 6.5 quarters of the season for Justin Fields. Still just 5 incompletions, 5 touchdowns. Not a big impact as a runner tonight as he was in the opening win against Nebraska, but they've gotten better production from the running backs. And Fields just continues to be really, really difficult to defend. Very, very accurate tonight. This is Teague plowing forward. They'll take that 5 yards.
If you were to ask he and Ryan Day and Kevin Wilson about him running the ball, I mean, yeah, he's going to run the ball. He's very good at running the ball, but I think there was definitely an emphasis with this offense, including Tony Alford, the running back coach, to get the backs to run better and offensive line to be better, where Justin Fields doesn't have to be the guy that's carrying the load. And Master Teague and Trey Sermon can be that, and we've seen a lot more, as you said.
2nd and 5. Teague powers up near the marker. He'll be a yard short on 3rd down. Mustipher on the stop. 2 interceptions for Fields against Clemson in that controversial semifinal loss. Just 1 interception in all the other games in his career. Continues to be mistake-free for the most part. Third and 1. Take a look at the sidelines. The old check with me. Up to all the play cards. Halloween themed play card, one of them. Hand up to Teague, barrels free, 1st down, more. Diving forward to the Penn State 40. Master Teague, the 3rd, has got it going. Nice block by Wilson.
Yeah, nice job by Wilson, but nice job by the offensive line getting up to that 2nd level and getting their hats on the linebackers. Something we did not see last week against Nebraska. The Nebraska linebackers were attacking down here. Tonight, we're seeing that line get up there.
Fields on the move. Delivers far side. And big cushion for Njigba, who falls forward. Another 1st down inside the 25.
Just so much to defend with Ryan Day's offense, right? You got the physicality of the inside zone and the offensive line and backs that are running downhill. then they're going to stretch you. They'll go empty. You got to deal with run-pass option. You got to deal with Fields as a runner. You got to think about the levels concept. You got to worry about if Olave can come in and make a play one-on-one downfield.
It's a late flag on the play. They're moving back against Ohio State. It's going to be an illegal shift, I believe. Fields getting the explanation. So take that completion off the board. Ball moved back to the 45-yard line. Pretty clean game so far. How do you defend Fields? That's going to be the question for defensive coordinators all over the place. And in the Big Ten, you got problems. Teague hammered right at the line of scrimmage. Ellis Brooks came up.
Chris, like I said, I mean, he gets a lot of the attention, and he should. But like any great offense, it's just so many different phases to it. So you're a defensive coordinator, and you're going to play this offense. It's not just, wow, we got to stop Fields. It's how are we going to stop this offensive line in the downhill running game? How are we going to stop these different formations and how they isolate us? And do we have enough people to hold up one-on-one against Olave and Garrett Wilson and these young freshmen and the tight ends? So like any great offense, the quarterback gets a lot of the attention, but it's all the pieces.
How'd you grade the O-line for Ohio State in the opening game?
I thought they were okay. I think they would tell you that they were okay. Tonight, a totally different game.
They pick up the pressure, and they get the ball out to Ruckert. And the tight end gains yardage all the way back to the 32. It'll be third down and short now.
Yeah, and in their defense, I don't think they really opened up a lot of the playbook. I mean, if you will go back and really watch that game against Nebraska, you know, I think Nebraska played hard, but Ryan Day didn't really need to open up things like the way he is tonight. And so I think you've seen a different offense, and I think the offensive line has played much more dominant at the point of attack tonight.
Nice when you can not open it up, play in third gear, and the quarterback goes 20 of 21. You put half 100 on the board.
Yeah.
On third down, Teague, he's hard to stop. He runs downhill, and he gets a first down inside the 30. Luqueta, again, who sat out the first half, is back in there. Look how the ball has been spread around to the various targets. Olave has the real electric plays in his 6 catches. Wilson has been steady.
But Olave's first 2 games, over 100 yards in both of them. Like I talked about, that's going to really become a combination between Fields and Olave that defenses are going to have to try to take away. You just don't know when it's coming, but if you get him isolated one-on-one, pretty good chance they're eventually going to go downfield and try to hit him.
Olave held to 2 catches against Penn State last year. Sermon back in the game, and he stopped after a 4-yard gain.
Tonight we've seen the versatility of how they can be quick striking. Opening drive, what was that, 3 plays?
Yep.
Touchdown. We saw a couple long touchdown passes from Fields to Olave. And then we've seen these drives that have consumed clock and, you know, a little bit more methodical where they rely on that offensive line and just kind of pounding the football.
We had a 15-play touchdown drive earlier. This is the 8th play of this drive. Fields stumbles and slips and still gets the ball out, and it's still complete. And banging down to the 11-yard line is Jake Hausman, the third-string tight end. How did he stay up?
How about the athletic ability just to stay up? And then he's able to presence of mind to get up, get his balance, and then feel that pressure with Luqueta and Tony. And then he sees he's got his tight end, Hausman, out there, and he just flips it out there to him. Balance, get the hand down. Oh, my gosh, 2 defenders, flip it while he's falling down in a perfect strike.
There's different ways athleticism is expressed in a football field. That was awkward looking because he lost his footing, but amazing to avoid the sack there.
He's again, you have elite athletes. Yeah, if you just asked him after the game, hey, remember that throw to Hausman? How'd that happen? He just did it. You know, he has no idea. It's just instincts take over.
First down, handoff to Sermon. And he's wrestled down at the 9. Brisker stopped him. This is one of those marches you talked about, you know, taking its toll on a Penn State defense, not just perhaps adding to the lead, but wearing out the guys in dark blue. Fields from the pocket, delivers to the end zone over the head of Wilson Porter, back in the game in coverage. That one play that Porter wasn't in there, you pointed out they picked on Wilson, his replacement. Porter got back in the game the next play, but that one play that he was out, Olave hurt him.
Yeah, Ryan Day recognized it and went to it before Porter would get back into the game. And pretty good coverage there by Porter, but the location of the ball gave Garrett Wilson potentially a chance to go up there as he threw it back into that deep part of that corner, the back end of the end zone.
You need 8. First down to the 1, 4-4 and third in the half. Fields from the pocket delivers. Wilson's got the catch, but he's not going to get first down yardage. Lamont Wade knocked him out, and it'll be 4th down. Here comes a field goal team. We don't know what the status is of Blake Hobbiel, the fine senior kicker. We'll try to check on that. He was in the game earlier, but DiMaccio began to handle kickoff duties. Hobbiel missed his 1 field goal attempt, a chip shot, and now the walk-on from 22 yards tries to add to the lead. And DiMaccio looking like a top-line kicker. No problem. Knocks it through. And the lead is 18 with 1:02 in the third quarter. How come the third-string walk-on guys for Ohio State just come in here and look like that? And some teams just can't find a kicker.
You're right.
The Gophers, we saw their problems a week ago. Missed PAT in overtime. It cost them against Maryland.
Sure did. You know, they're getting around this team and talking to them this week, you sense, and I had a chance to be with Justin Fields last week as well, you sense that with everything going on with the COVID and the quarantine and the season starting late, that you wondered how this, specifically this team, might be handling that. And I really think the maturity has helped them, and I think the fight to be able to try to get back to play, but I really think they go back to last year, how the season ended against Clemson and the defeat and the taste in their mouth. I think Justin Fields has helped use that as a driving force to get them focused on what they need to do, whether it means sitting in your apartment and not hanging out and not potentially exposing yourself to the virus, or doing your work or studying film or whatever you need to do. You sense that this is a very focused and determined football team trying to get back to that playoff and try to finish unfinished business from a year ago.
I love when you get the assessment of players from their opponents. And Shaka Tony said it's very obvious that Justin Fields has tremendous will. It's evident in how he plays, refusing to go down. It's how he leads. It's a pretty high compliment. And back to that, one of the key plays in the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah, and they were driving potentially to win the game, and just a miscommunication with Olave and Fields. You know, he was about to. Olave thought he was maybe scrambling, and instead Fields threw it, and of course Clemson ends up securing a win. But Ohio State would tell you there were a few different calls within that game that they felt went against them. They had a lot of things go on in that game, but that memory right there is, like I said, what drives them.
We talked to Sean Wade, who was flagged for that controversial targeting penalty, the hit on Trevor Lawrence, knocked out of the game, and he really felt the very bitter taste from that loss, and he's part of that unfinished business crew. So now down by 18. Clifford looking for a spark, has the football and throws it downfield, and it's over the head of his receiver Parker Washington. Flag is down near the line of scrimmage. Final minute of this third quarter. Penn State putting a touchdown on the board to begin the quarter, but Ohio State answering with 10 points to build the lead back.
Offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Des Holmes is a backup guard, and he's flagged for the hold.
I think as the season goes on for Ohio State, tonight what we've seen is a defensive line and linebackers that have taken the game over and won up front. I think teams will try to eventually continue to test Ohio State's secondary with those new faces. I think the Buckeyes welcome that, but I think that's the way you'll see teams try to challenge them, is go after the back end.
First and 20, Freiermuth on a crossing route, little stop and go move, knocked out on the sideline out near the marker, and they're going to get a 15-yard penalty. A flag comes in for a late hit over there. It was Marcus Hooker. Took a while for the flag to come out.
I think Cam Brown, 26, maybe had an elbow right as Freiermuth was out of bounds.
To the play, personal foul, defense, number 26. 15-yard penalty be added on to the end of the run. Automatic.
Good spot. It's Brown on the penalty.
Yeah, Hooker was tied up with him, but you'll see 26 that comes in and takes the shot. But there's that play. We saw that earlier. You know, get him going sideways, and then he's out of bounds, and boom, right there at 26 is what they made the call on, the second Buckeye that came in.
It's a silly penalty, undisciplined play, and it gives Penn State the ball near midfield. That's the kind of thing that'll drive a coach crazy. You got control of the game, and you give them life. And Ford, nothing there.
That's what I'm talking about right there. We've seen a lot of plays that have looked like that, where they've been able to just win up front. And when you do that, you don't have to commit as many people to the line of scrimmage. That was Cage that got in there.
Jerron Cage, not a household name, but he goes in there and makes a play. Final seconds of the third quarter here. Lions limited to 45 rushing yards through 3 quarters. Clifford pressured and sacked. They'll take away more of those rushing yards. Devontae Baptiste and Jonathan Cooper combined.
Watch this. Watch the tight end Freiermuth try to deal with Cooper and his power. He just takes him right back into the quarterback. And then, I mean, that's pretty good pass rush there without using speed, just power.
4th sack for the Buckeyes. End of 3 in State College. Back after these messages and a word from our ABC stations. Start of the 4th quarter. Playing Monster Mash, Ghostbusters, theme for the Munsters. You get the Halloween playlist with the DJ tonight. Penn State leading 17. It's a 3-man rush. They still got near Clifford, who fires down to Dotson, who tries to make a circus catch, and he does at the 20-yard line. Wow! What a grab!
Great catch. And the fact he did it on Shaun Wade tells you a lot. I mean, that ball is thrown up high where Dotson can go up, control his body, and look at that focus and concentration. That ball came up into the air and just uses the left hand to bring it to his body for that big conversion on 3rd and 17.
Takes a lot to complete a pass against Wade, and Dotson was up to that moment. They try to get it to him. One-handed grab, and he walks in. Back-to-back highlight plays from Dotson, and Penn State still showing some fight. Wow. That gets all 1,500 Penn State fans on their feet.
Well, that's incredible. Well, we got a Buckeye player down, but Dotson, like you said, Chris, back-to-back, tremendous effort. And you're going after Shaun Wade, who's one of the top corners in the Big Ten. Cameron Brown is down on the other side of the field, but right back into the boundary. Can see once Wade looks for that football, he adjusts back and just puts his right hand up there and palms it.
You talk about 2 incredible catches on consecutive plays against one of the better corners in college football. That is a Jahan Dotson highlight reel.
You know, with KJ Hamler moving on, who was going to be the next guy, right? They moved him to the outside because they thought he might have more chances. They're the progressive pylon cam to show you even a better look at it. But ball is thrown where he could adjust back to it. And there's the injury to Cam Brown at the top. He just kind of lost his footing and went down, and he's still down.
So we'll take a break while they attend to Brown. Penn State PAT coming up, 31-19.
It's my super dog.
All right, Kevin, thank you. Penn State after that circus catch by Dotson going for 2 to cut the lead to 10. Ford is the back. Clifford looks to take off. Can he get there? No, he is stood up and slammed backwards there. Marcus Hooker, the safety, met him, and the conversion is denied. What sequence. It was 3rd and 17 when Dotson went up against Wade and made that incredible catch with his left hand against his helmet. Very next play says, let's use the right hand this time to make the catch.
Adjust back to the ball, but then just palms the ball with his right hand. you know, the way he put his body up, usually you think about the left hand, but instead the right hand. And then here, Clifford trying to catch Ohio State's defense off guard, looking left like he was going to throw, and tries to run it in, but Ohio State ready for it. But Dotson against Shaun Wade, a couple big plays to get Penn State's offense going.
Dotson made the 60-yard catch in that post route against Indiana. You thought that was going to be the play that would spark a Penn State comeback victory. There were a few plot twists after that, but enormous two-play sequence when it looked like this offense was in deep trouble. They still have life. 12-point game now, 14.5 to play.
Penn State's done a good job of just kind of hanging in there. You think when the way this game started, look at some of the numbers, Ohio State's up, this game's over, but no, Penn State's doing just enough to just keep themselves within a possession or two.
Passing game caught fire. Clifford 2 completions in the first half. 9 of them here after halftime. All-State bus here in State College. What's your All-State protection spotlight?
Well, I think it's the offensive line giving Justin Fields, when he's needed time to look downfield to make big throws. Look at that time and of course the location of the ball, but it starts with the offensive line giving him that protection here. Over 3 seconds until he goes deep downfield again to Olave when they had a chance to attack the younger corner, Marquise Wilson. So give that offensive line a lot of credit for the way they played, not just in pass protection, but also the way they held up physically at the line of scrimmage in the run game.
Munford, Miller, Myers, Davis, Petit Frere, the 5 starters up front for Ohio State. The muscle behind a very, very productive night. 435 total yards for this offense. Fields on the run and delivers, and waiting on his knees to make the catch is Wilson. Has been the top target tonight. There is a flag down.
Like Ohio State receiver Jamison Williams looks like he was blocking downfield. I don't know if that's what they may have called there or pass interference. There's contact with Williams in a Penn State defender.
Yeah, flag is deep in the defensive secondary.
Holding defense, number 5. Penalties decline, first down.
There's Castro Fields, but they'll take the play.
Ohio State takes the play, but you know, you could see him downfield, and okay, I couldn't tell if he was locked up with him trying to block him, but instead it was Castro Fields that actually grabbed on to Williams as he was going by him.
Teague was off the right side. Luqueta in there on the stop. Makes a difference when number 40 is in the game.
You and I are seeing the same thing. He was out the first half because of that targeting call, but boy, what a difference he is into that, the kind of the teeth of that defense. Sets the edge, not only sets the edge, but then collapses down and makes a great play.
Teague again. Luqueta comes from Ottawa, played his prep football in Pennsylvania, but a captain on this defensive team. Mustipher on that stop. It's 3rd down and long.
Yeah, it's a big play. Big play in this game for both these teams. Ohio State, you know, the last thing they want to do right now is to give the ball back to Clifford and give Penn State a chance to get within a possession. Penn State, of course, wants to get Fields off the field.
But Ohio State's been really efficient, especially after halftime. 4 of 5 on 3rd down. Fields had time, and protection broke down late, but he delivers a downfield strike to Garrett Wilson. What a play again by the quarterback.
Not just look at the location of the ball. Shaka Toney, I thought, was going to get to him. Watch the pressure. We just talked about how the offensive line's done a good job. How does Shaka Toney not get his hands on the ball and deflect it? And that ball's thrown downfield perfectly on target.
Wilson targeted 13 times, 10 catches for 99 yards. Buckeyes are going to have 2 receivers over 100 yards. Teague muscles forward. First down run.
Put a star next to that last throw as far as level of importance and how good of a throw that was on 3rd down and 8. Pivotal point in this game with Ohio State trying to nurse or just try to hold on to that lead, work the clock. That was a long throw.
He's had 25 completions tonight, a lot of them routine throws, but about a half dozen wow throws, wouldn't you say,
I
Fields?
agree. Yes.
2nd and 5. Day's offense as Olave comes back in motion. Fields is rolling to the right. He's chased and delivers a ball high and off the hands of the tight end Ruckert.
You know, I think last year with Fields coming over from Georgia in his first year in this system with Ryan Day, if you really studied him, he was a rhythmic passer. It was one hitch and the ball being out, incredibly accurate. But if you made him hold on to the ball, take that second hitch, the third hitch, come off his primary, that's where you saw his accuracy sometimes not as sharp. It's a different Justin Fields this year with the work that he put in the offseason.
The footwork, right?
The footwork, he's very smooth. He's maintaining the rhythm as he works his way through the progression. So it's a totally different quarterback you're trying to defend.
Teague, another power run. A lot of plays that look a lot like that tonight as they rely on that offensive line to lean, and then Teague running hard. It's 4th down. They need a yard. Offense, of course, still on the field here. An offensive line. Look at those guys. They're just eager. Come on, feed us. Let us block somebody again. They are loving the fact that these running backs are running hard behind them tonight. And this has answered some questions about this Ohio State front. 2 tight ends in the game on 4th down. Can Penn State come up with a stop? Fields looking to throw, drops back, delivers over the middle, and it's a 1st down and goal to Olave.
4th and 1. 4th and 1, and you've got the lead, and it just shows you when you have receivers that are going to run the right route, you got a quarterback that you feel is going to make the right decision. You just feel like it's like a layup. You're just going to take it. There's no hesitation. Instead of just taking a sneak the easy way, you trust the quarterback to make that throw and get the big 1st down.
1st and goal. Teague hammers, spins, and stretches the ball over his shoulder down inside the 1.
And you really can't put into words what that does to it. We keep talking about a psyche. This Penn State defense, it's like every time they come back out to the middle of the ring and they think, okay, I think we got a chance, boom, they get hit again with a 3rd down, or in that case, a 4th down conversion.
Teague muscles in. Touchdown, Ohio State. There's a flag down, so hold up.
I think that's going to be on Ohio State.
Legal formation. More than 4 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty from the previous line of scrimmage. 3 down.
And the fake crowd noise comes up to celebrate the flag. That was pretty loud fake crowd noise. So instead of a touchdown, Ohio State moved back to the 6-yard line, 2nd and goal. They won't be pleased as the penalties begin to pile up now here in the 2nd half. A few mental mistakes like that. I wouldn't say it's quite the knockout blow because the Lions have shown some resilience, but this will certainly be a deflating march if Ohio State can find the end zone again. 10th play of the drive coming up. Teague back down just outside the 1. Catch here stopped him. Backup linebacker.
Kevin Wilson and Ryan Day both mentioned to us, you know, we don't have the game-breaking ability in the backfield of J.K. Dobbins, but what we have are backs that can lean on you. And in that 3rd and especially 4th quarter between the offensive line and the running style of Teague, you think that takes a toll on a defense.
This time it's Fields keeping the ball. He's a pretty strong runner himself, but he's stopped at the 1. That's a good point. Everybody in college football wants that home run hitter, that electric guy who could take it 75 yards. If you don't have one of those rare backs, you rotate guys in like this, big physical players, and you got a quarterback who can run too. But it's really going to be a team built primarily around the passing game.
Yeah,
I think. 4th down again. Another chance for Penn State to come up with a stop. Fields looking to run, flips it. Easy pitch and catch. And Ruckert, the tight end, has it. A lot of options down near the goal line. Another long march for the Buckeyes. They take more than 5 minutes off the clock. 74 yards in 11 plays.
Fields just shows it. And I'm surprised Penn State, anybody defending Ohio State, you get into short yardage situations, if there's anything that's been learned tonight, do not anticipate the conservative approach. Do not anticipate, oh, they're just going to pound Teague in for a 1.5 yards or quarterback sneak, you better have your head on a swivel and be ready to defend anything when it comes to short yardage, because of what Fields can do and the poise that he plays with and the trust that Ryan Day has in him.
You said it. Trust, confidence, execution.
Saturday Night Football on ABC is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? In part by Pacific Life. More than 150 years strong. Trust in your tomorrow. And Burger King. Mix and match 2 of your favorites on the BK app for your chance to win a PlayStation 5 console.
Folks going all out on Halloween here at State College. This week's rankings brought to you by PlayStation 5. It's the AP poll. Rankings don't mean a whole lot, especially this time of year, but you wonder with Clemson rallying from 18 down, Bama's shutting out Mississippi State tonight, Ohio State looking good here, if there'll be a reshuffling. Minus Lawrence, Clemson has to work for it. They won't have Trevor going to Notre Dame. Again, you can overstate by a lot the importance of rankings, but fans do get into it. You wonder if there'll be a shuffle in the top 3.
I think everybody wanted to see Ohio State a second week. It was one thing to watch them against Nebraska and poke some holes. What about this? What about that? But you're really going to find out who they were tonight against Penn State, and I think they've answered the bell pretty well, and I think showed you an identity of who this 2020 Ohio State team is.
Of course, the skeptics say, wait a minute, they played 2 games. Bama and Clemson have played a lot more. Of course, this timeline includes the return of the Pac-12 next week. We talked about the Stanford-Oregon game we'll have in this primetime ABC slot. The rankings don't come out till November 24th. The conference championships over 2 weekends, and then the selection show. The committee will convene, and it could be a challenging job, or it could be pretty straightforward for at least 3 of the top 4, unless someone can knock off a Clemson or an Ohio State or an Alabama. Penn State trying to fight back here. Clifford escapes, delivers across the middle, and the catch is made by Washington. The freshman gets free, and he gets into Ohio State territory, knocked down at the 44.
I think you watch these teams play. It is tough to separate this year in 2020 with teams playing different amount of games. What do you need? Ohio State, you need to see them beat the heck out of Rutgers and Indiana and whoever else they play. Maryland is coming up, and then you'll say, aha, now they played 5. Now
I understand. I'm saying that some might say.
Yeah, I'm just saying you see this team. It doesn't take a whole lot to say, yeah, they're good.
Lloyd Powers forward. Pete Warner stopped him. I agree. You've got Rutgers is next. Schiano, of course, ex-Ohio State defensive coordinator, who scored 49 plus on Rutgers each of the last 5 meetings. Then it's at Maryland, Indiana, at Illinois, at Michigan State, home Michigan. That's it before the Big Ten championship game.
Big Ten championship. This team, because of their focus and maturity, they will not get ahead of themselves. I just don't see anybody in this conference beating them, and I think they'll have their chance to get back into the playoff, providing we still are playing college football at that point with everything going on.
Well, you had to say that. Fire's far side. Washington makes another catch. Yeah, skips that.
We are.
No, I understand. We all hope we are. It's always fragile. It's week by week, hour by hour. But this is the FPI chance to win with the computer thinks. I mean, look at that. That's why we're talking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, Michigan given the best chance, and it's not a very good one according to the computer at this point. First down for Penn State. They're still fighting here inside of 7.5 to go.
I think a lot of people thought this team tonight would be maybe one of their biggest tests of the season.
Well, this was rated by the computer the toughest test of the season. Penn State got to work with a little less of the play clock running down. Clifford for the end zone, no chance, but down 19, they're going to have to pick up the urgency here. Jahan Dotson has kept him in the game. Back-to-back plays. Circus catches the one-handed there, and then the right hand goes up and snags the ball. And the progressive pylon cam shows you a look at this play will be, contender for catch of the year, early stages.
Well, this offense with Penn State over the last 5 or 6 years, think about some of the receivers that they've had. Chris Godwin was an outstanding receiver. KJ Hamlin most recently, and it's Jahan Dotson's chance. It's his turn in this offense to make plays. They're going to isolate him, and even against Shaun Wade, and ask him to make plays the way he has tonight.
Clifford takes off and weaves his way for a first down. Tyreek Smith stopped him at the 15. They got to get up to a move quickly here now.
Yeah, they do. I just continue to be impressed, even though this team has been fighting from behind the entire night. They've not shut it down. You know, Clifford in this offense, you know, they continue to try to give themselves, especially in the second half, when at least they've been able to move the ball and put some points on the board. 13 points already in this second half.
Play action zipped across the middle, and the ball is knocked free. Incomplete. Went into the hands of Lambert Smith, but he was hit hard, and the ball came out.
Another freshman. You know, we saw Parker Washington make a play. Now Lambert Smith out of Virginia. Looked like he had it, but gets separated from the ball from Marcus Hooker, who's, you know, Marcus Hooker's been playing pretty well tonight. We've seen him flying around, whether it's been against the run or especially when the ball's been in the air.
Of course, brother of Malik, who was the 15th pick in the 2017 draft by the Colts. Talented family. Malik was pretty good. Pretty tough to live up to what he did here at Ohio State for Marcus, who's a sophomore. Kevon Lee, freshman, back into the ball game for Penn State, and a whistle before the snap.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Second time that's happened tonight for Penn State's offense. Delaying the game is definitely what you don't want to do as you're trying to make up a 19-point deficit. The pressure picked up, slant, Dotson catches, stretches, scores. So Jahan Dotson adding to a terrific second half performance, and Penn State hanging around still.
They intentionally moved him to the right after the delay of game, and he goes up again against Shaun Wade. I mean, Shaun Wade has moved from the slot corner from a year ago when you had Damon Arnett and Jeffrey Okudah to now the corner on the outside. There's the progressive pylon cam. Looks like the ball did, in fact, break the plane when the knee touches. And it's about the third time now that we've seen him isolated and Dotson making a play against Shaun Wade.
Hat trick for Dotson. They'll check it just to make sure that the ball did in fact break the plane before the knee was down. But it's one of those good matchups. We talked about the Wade-Dotson matchup. Shaun Wade, veteran from Jacksonville, certainly very tough to beat in coverage. Dotson has made a couple of circus catches. That angle, it's tough to overturn the call of touchdown on the field. Let's kind of look down the line here. The pylon cam. Boom, ball across as the knee goes down. I think it's very close, but the nose does appear to break the plane. Bill LeMonnier signaling touchdown just to your right here. Tom Herbert is the replay official, working with Jerry McGinn and this crew. So Penn State
with what does he have? 6 catches?
Yeah, 3 of them touchdowns.
3 touchdowns, 123 yards.
They did go 75 yards in less than 3 minutes. Took them 7 plays to cut into the lead, which is now at 13 as we await the confirmation. Problem is, Fields gets the ball back now.
After further review, rolling to the field, stands. Touchdown.
In a 2-score game, but Penn State's defense needs to get the ball back quickly if they can. Serious challenge against this Ohio State offense. I'm a contact wearer, and I don't want anybody else reaching in the eye to take the lens out. You see that? Yeah. No, thank you. I mean, not this year, or not ever.
You can't be alone on that, can you?
No, and go for the 2 to cut it to 11, which conceivably would be touchdown, 2-point conversion, and field goal. Washington comes in motion. Last time they tried to run the quarterback, and that didn't work. This time Clifford hangs in the pocket, flush, searching for someone, delivers back, and it's incomplete. Tried to get it to Freiermuth, but off his hands. So the lead remains 13, 6:27 to play. Goodyear providing aerial coverage to reach the end zone. All you need is drive. Goodyear, more driven. Tomorrow afternoon on ABC, MLS Soccer, the Columbus Crew. It's your team, right? #1 team in the Eastern Conference, the Philadelphia Union. 3:30 Eastern on ABC and the ESPN app. Philly in first place in the East with the best record. Columbus is tied for third. So Levi Forrest out there for Penn State, figures to be an onside kick as they shift around now, try to give the Buckeyes a wrinkle here. Comes to the near side, gets the big kangaroo hop, and it's Olave who goes up on the hands team and collects it. He's the guy you want in that position. Good hops, good hands. Justin Fields tonight has just been phenomenal, spreading the ball all over the field. Olave, just a terrific pitch and catch. That was his first touchdown. With that throw on the run.
Well, the combination of Ryan Day and Justin Fields and the way they've attacked, it's been a lot of different types of throws, but he's made some big plays, and the courage, the relationship between Day and Fields has been on display too. And you see the downfield shots, pretty good.
That's tremendous. Passes of 20+ yards. Most college quarterbacks struggle to be over 50% in that category. He is 7 of 8. Has a couple of touchdowns. Maria?
And you guys have talked about how he's dedicated on and off the field to making sure that he's able to maintain and stay playing football this entire season. The only friend that he's spending time with right now is Uno, his dog, who has his own Instagram. He says he has online classes. He comes back home, hangs out with Uno. He doesn't have a roommate, and he's really trying to make sure that he doesn't end up with COVID, but he's got a really cute friend to hang out with in the meantime.
A French bulldog, Uno. Of course, that's Spanish for the number that Justin wears. About a year old. You got about 10,000 Instagram followers, by the way.
We're on our Zoom with him talking about, you know, what's your normal day like, and he's just talking about I just hang out with Uno if I'm not studying film over at the Woody Hayes facility. We're like, Uno, we weren't up to date on his Instagram page, and he turned the phone around and showed him. There's his little man was just sitting there chilling, his dog.
But Maria makes a great point. I mean, it is a tough challenge for all of us in this year, but you know, college students who dedicate everything to improving as a football player and then trying to stay healthy, it could be a lonely existence. And he has a little pal there, takes him out for a walk every day.
He wasn't complaining about, you know, that sacrifice. It's almost like he's just flipped a switch like a lot of players around the country have. But you're right, when you look at it through our lens, it's like, man, college is supposed to be about hanging out with your friends and doing things and being with your teammates. And it's like, if it's not at the Woody Hayes facility, it is apartment with his dog.
Third and 8, and connection again to Garrett Wilson has been Mr. Reliable tonight. He's been hard for the Lions to deal with. Marquise Wilson on the tackle, but it's first down.
I just want to continue to say how impressive it is to watch Ryan Day. He's a head coach, but as a play caller, watching him and how aggressive he is as a play caller is as impressive as a thing as you're going to see in college football. It reminds, we were not talking at a break, Joe Brady and Joe Burrow in the LSU offense last year. Now, I'm not comparing this offense to that offense, but the approach, the mentality, the attacking mentality that LSU went with, and the confidence that Brady had in Burrow, that's what you see with Ryan Day and Justin Fields in the same kind of way. Third and short, we're going to throw it. You know, we're not just going to take the easy way.
Sermon knocked down. I know you're not comparing the offense yet, because that's one of the great offenses of all time in college football. There's the Pacific Life game summary. It's the quarterback comparison. And you said an important word there. They have trust in Fields. He's earned the trust, supreme confidence in his ability to execute whatever they call him. You can be bold. You can gamble when you don't fear the consequences.
That's what I was going to say. Right? They don't worry about the consequences because the confidence they have, not just in him, but the defense could bail him out if it doesn't work out.
4:08 to play. Buckeyes trying to bleed the clock out, protect this lead. Ponder in the NFL Countdown crew. 10 o'clock tomorrow morning on ESPN. Randy Moss will sit down with Tom Brady, and they'll talk about Tua's first start for the Dolphins against the Rams. He'll try to find ex-Penn Stater Mike Gesicki. Ohio State a timeout. Shifts those 2 tight ends over to the left. Teague is the back. 2nd and 9. He's got it, and they've got him behind the line of scrimmage. Beeman, backup defensive tackle, combining with Brooks on the stop. It's 3rd down. Clock moving. Yep, they take a timeout, not letting the Buckeyes chew on the clock. So, Kirk, it's Halloween night here. We're in the state of Pennsylvania, which brings back wonderful memories for our entire crew, except for you, when we were in Philadelphia.
Oh, you got
remember this one?
First half. Oh, it looked like Notre Dame was just maybe going to.
Come on back in here, Kirk. These are some friends of mine from the. Come on, fellas, from the Eastern State Penitentiary, which you visited last night.
I think my instincts were to kick him.
Well, that ends up being that's a female goblin there. She came in hot.
Came in hot. I can't believe that thing every year. They play that back, Billy.
They will from now till the end of time, my friend. Hey, come on, man. It's 2020. People need a chance to chuckle here.
I know. It's fine. It's all good.
We got denied the whiteout by
super slow-mo. I did like a left kick.
We had to play it sound full, you understand, though, for the squeal.
Oh, man.
3rd and 9. Servants now in the game. And blindsided and hammered. Off the edge came Brandon Smith. And Justin Fields slow to get up.
Yeah, this sophomore has a bright future. He's really known for his ability to blitz. They bring pressure out here, and they're able to get home. They just overload that side. They brought one more than the offensive line could handle. And Justin Fields, for the first time really all night, gets hit and hit hard on 3rd down.
Not only does it end the possession there, but it also knocks him back out of field goal range. It would be a 57-yarder, and they're not going to try that again. Hobbiel has not kicked since early on. We've gone to Dominic DiMaccio, the walk-on backup kicker, but instead it's now Drew Chrisman in the game to punt. So that's an important sack there to keep hope alive for this Penn State team.
I just continue to be impressed with Penn State's fight. You know, they've been down the whole game, still down 13 in the 4th quarter. Brent Pry dials up a blitz there on 3rd down. This defense is, even though they've given up some big plays and given up a lot of points to this offense, they still playing with some energy here. Like Brent Pry and his consistency. You know, he was a GA under Bud Foster back in the mid-90s at Virginia Tech, and just talking to him even again today a little bit about the game, just still, even though he's coached at a lot of different places, been here a long time, he still talks about how much he said, well, I'm a Bud Foster guy at heart. You know, he still goes back to anytime a defense coordinator says I'm a Bud Foster guy at heart, it just talks about their aggressiveness as a defensive coordinator in attacking an offense.
I'm a Bud Foster fan at heart, always was.
Oh, yeah.
Wish him the best in retirement.
Our guy.
Chrisman will try to knock the punt deep and force the Lions to go a long way to cut into this 13-point lead. Usually very good at executing this kind of punt. Kicks it high with backspin. The coverage team races down there. And yet a feeling, they let it get away. I'm just going to brag on them how good they execute. They tried to down it at the 1, and the ball got away from them. It's a touchback.
I think Olave thought, hey, I've got this handled. I'm down here. Let me handle it. And he's about to get the ball, and then it bounces off his knee.
Yeah, Robinson up booting it in the end zone.
Yeah, Olave was like, hey, man, this is my call. I'm right here. Let me put it down at the 1.
And Chrisman says, I rarely get a chance to punt. I mean, look, this offense is so good. They don't call on me very often. I'm going to execute this perfectly.
Yeah, and you can see the backspin on that, where that ball is going to bounce back.
Makes about an 18-yard, 19-yard difference because Penn State's at the 20 now to begin this drive. Again, out to Autzen Stadium as the Pac-12 gets underway next weekend. The Cardinal looking for a bounce back here. And Tyler Shuck, the new Ducks quarterback, get a look at him. 4:30 on the West Coast. Penn State, 3:49 to work with. And Clifford flushed and chased, trying to make something happen. Flips it late, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Hooker. Hooker's got blockers, and he's knocked down inside the 10. And that should about do it. First turnover of the night. Clifford tried to press on the run and went right to Hooker.
Yeah, he tried to get it to Freiermuth. How fitting that Hooker, who's had a big night tonight, makes this play, comes up with the interception to seal the victory for Ohio State. But Clifford, who's just feeling some, he's feeling it's late in the game. I got to make a play, steps up, and then he starts to look for his guy, Freiermuth. And this is just a reckless decision to throw that football. Even though he trusts Freiermuth to be able to make a play, that's a throw and hope kind of play, which he cannot do, especially after he talked about the mistakes last week in Bloomington with the 2 interceptions.
They've tried all night to get the ball to Freiermuth. He's been well covered, targeted him 6 times, just 3 catches for 46. And now Fields and the Buckeye offense, chance to add to this league. Teague hammers forward. Clifford, who said he was devastated by getting knocked out of the game last year in the loss back in his home state, was well under 100% mobility-wise when he came in. Very frustrating. Had hoped for a big redemption performance tonight. Got off to a very slow start. Just 2 completions in the first half. Pretty good second half until that pick right there.
In his defense, I mean, you're down 13. The clock's running down, under 4 minutes. You're trying to make something happen, and he just took a chance. I wouldn't throw that underneath the category of just I talked about it being a reckless decision. It was, but I think it's because of the point in the game that we are where he felt he tried to make a play.
Brooks knocking down Teague, and Penn State is going to drop to 0-2. Great expectations coming into this season. A lot of their fans were talking about Penn State being a potential playoff contender. Had they won tonight and then run the table, could have had all those goals alive. But now at 0-2 in a shortened season, it'll be a test of the culture and a test of will and spirit for this group.
Been a long time since you said 0-2.
Absolutely.
I know it's unusual schedule and circumstances, but 10 years.
So Fields, you know that without Trevor Lawrence, the positive COVID test, he cannot play next week in that showdown game in South Bend because he's got to have the cardiac protocol. You got to go through the various tests to make sure your heart is okay when you come through that COVID process. So Dabo Swinney saying today he will not play. You knew that the door was open for Fields based on last week to come out and have another performance like this and perhaps become in the minds of many of the Heisman frontrunner.
Yeah, I mean he's definitely was on the back burner because the Big Ten started later than everybody else, but boy, he's just exploded onto the scene these first 2 weeks, doing everything that's expected of him and maybe even more. And I think Ohio State as a team, often the Heisman Trophy has really looked about the team. I think Ohio State sent a message to the country after the week against Nebraska, week 2. I think they looked different tonight. They just had a different intensity about them, and I think they took a very good step in the right direction.
With the quarterbacks of all 3 top teams, as you said, which teams that are expected to go undefeated, certainly contenders, and so would Lawrence be if he can get back on the field, but missing a couple games in a shortened season will not help his cause. And Teague plowing forward. Again, players in different conferences have the different COVID protocols to go by. In the Big Ten, it's a 21-day hit that you take for a positive test. It's a different situation in the ACC where Lawrence plays, but again, you have to go through the battery of heart tests, which is obviously the proper thing to do medically.
Yeah.
Even though you come through, have negative tests and have no symptoms, they have to check it out, and there's just not quite enough time for that to happen, and then Lawrence to get ready for that game, so they have to be without him in South Bend, and we certainly hope he returns and can finish out the season without further issues.
Olave goes into South Bend next week after getting at least a start under his belt today against an upstart Boston College team. Boy, Jeff Hafley, the former Ohio State defensive coordinator, now head coach at BC, doing a great job of getting his team ready to play. I thought that had as much to do with BC and the way they played as much as Trevor Lawrence not being in the lineup. BC came with intentions today and played great.
Hafley, of course, it was DC for this Ohio State team when they took on Clemson in the semifinal a year ago. That's a very positive sign for BC. It's a moral victory. I hate to use that phrase, but against mighty Clemson, the Eagles showing a strong pulse.
I mean,
today.
think about where they've been in recent years, and just watching them with Jeff Hafley. That I don't know. We always talk about culture and changing an attitude and a belief. I mean, all you got to do is turn Boston College on and watch them play right now, and it just feels different, you know, when you see them.
What's your take now on Clemson? College Game Day is going to be there in South Bend to set that game up. Tigers with Olave on the road against Ian Book and the Fighting Irish.
Well, I think getting him some reps today was pivotal. The game and the speed of the game, you would think on the road at South Bend will go up and the intensity will go up. And I think Clemson, you know, the last 2 weeks, maybe a bit of a wake-up call, and cannot wait to talk about that game next week and, you know, see where Ian Book and does Notre Dame have enough in the running game and enough balance to be able to really attack the Tigers' defense. Remember, James Skalski, Tyler Davis, they didn't play either for Clemson, and that's as big as Trevor Lawrence not playing on the offense.
Camacho, the walk-on, had a pretty good night as Javier left early, but this one slides just outside the right upright. And so a couple of short missed field goals for Ohio State. Not a perfect performance, but on Halloween here in Happy Valley, Buckeyes offense looked pretty frightening for the rest of this conference. 526 total yards. Again, just like the opening win against Nebraska, pretty good balance. 208 on the ground, 318 through the air. Fields with 4 more touchdown passes. Olave catching a pair of them. Ruckert, the tight end, has a couple. Garrett Wilson, 11 catches tonight, 111 yards. Clifford has to just throw this one deep into the bench. Teague again applying pressure. It's been an impressive performance on both offensive and defensive lines for Ohio State. They've owned the trenches, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think that's been the difference in the game, really from the outset, was what they were able to do. I think the officials were talking about the potential there of that being intentional grounding.
My friend, we hope for nothing more than a return to normalcy in 2021, that COVID-19 can be conquered for many people and for many reasons, and that when we reconvene here in the season of 2021, it can be back to whiteout.
Absolutely.
Something was missing tonight.
Yes.
Namely 110,000 folks dressed in white.
Yeah, absolutely. But the Ohio State defensive line, that's been also a question on how good they could be. They got 4 sacks tonight, and when they didn't get sacks, they did a good job of pressuring. I think they took a big step as a group, rotating a lot of different bodies, not just physical at the point of attack, Chris, against the run, but when they've had to try to come after Clifford, they haven't always had the blitz, which is what they want to see. They want to see that front 4 get in there.
In defeat, Jahan Dotson's been the MVP for Penn State. That was just his 7th catch. He tried to get it to him again. 7 for 133 and 3 touchdowns tonight for the feature receiver in this corps.
He'll continue to be featured in this offense as the offense grows with first-year offensive coordinator Kirk Shiraka. And you know, it's nice to see what he's capable of doing, moving out of that slot position where he was last year with KJ Hamler. More of a guy that came in to spot Hamler, and now you move him outside to the X, and like you saw tonight, he's going to have nights like this and more opportunities like this.
Clifford will be slammed down.
That pass rush.
Togiai and Jonathan Cooper. A generational talent like Chase Young, of course, has moved on to the NFL. These guys a lot less heralded, but looking very hungry tonight. Flag down as Clifford scrambles. And he will go down. Browning giving chase.
I think Ohio State, they tried to run on a player. I think it was the 12th man on the field for the Buckeyes.
Rutgers, Maryland, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan State, and Michigan. Those are the opponents in the remaining regular season games for Ohio State.
Side. Defense. 5-yard penalty.
Anything can happen. No foregone conclusions. We almost saw a shocker today in Clemson's Death Valley, but come on. Ohio State shows up and plays their game.
Which again, they're going to be heavily favored in every game they play. The only thing that you would think when you list those opponents would be, do they get ahead of themselves? Do they almost start to hear how good they are and show up flat one game? I just don't. The personality of this team and the coaching that they have, I mean, it's possible, but I would be shocked if that happened.
Thompson, another catch. Well, a couple of years ago, the last trip to Maryland, that's the next road game. Remember, they fell behind. They had to rally. They won in overtime, and that missed two-point conversion pass by Maryland had a chance to win it there. So they barely survived that as a big favorite.
Well, yeah, you could go back to 15. Maybe Urban Meyer's best team that he ever had when they played Michigan State. Tyler O'Connor was the quarterback at Michigan State. And who would have thought Connor Cook was out? Who would have thought Michigan State would have come into Columbus, Zeke Elliott and that team that they had, and ended up beating Ohio State? Well, yeah, obviously things happen, but dude, I don't see this team losing. They're really good.
And that will be the final play of this game. As Ohio State, with an electric start, got 62 yards in the opening play, jumped out to a 14-0 lead. Penn State battled hard. They scored 19 points in the second half, but it's the Buckeyes by 13 and a 10th consecutive win on the road against ranked teams, equaling the all-time college football record of the Frank Leahy-led Notre Dame teams in the 1940s. 10 straight wins over ranked road teams. And Justin Fields, well, he had the 6 incompletions tonight. That's it. But 4 more touchdown passes. Impressive from start to finish by Ohio State. 38-25 is the final. Bill Bunnell produced this telecast. Derek Mobley, D-Mob directed it. Thanks to our entire crew here. To Mark Amento, Mike Black, Darren Brown, for Maria Taylor, Kurt Fowler, I'm Chris Fowler. We'll see you at Stanford, Oregon next Saturday. Except on the West Coast, stay tuned for your local news. Good night. Happy Valley.